Assemble the accused! Bear witness to their trials. The time of the Inquisition is now at hand. Putting pop culture to the rack, the Inquisition calls to account the events of the week, rooting out heresy wherever it is found. I am Grand Inquisitor Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and joining me for tonight's torture is Nerdrotic Channel's Grand Inquisitor, Gary Beekler. Gary, how are you tonight, my friend?
I'm doing great. Ready to dole out some punishment, but also we got to thank the Fandom Menace. And
Hail!
It's a good night. It's a good night. It's a good night for Inquisitioning. And man, we're gonna do Batwoman later. We've got to talk about a NOS. We've got some Star Trek to slay. More Star Wars. The Star Wars stuff never stops. I'm ready. Freddie Prinze Jr.
Good old Freddie Prinze Jr. What an idiot.
Dude, what a moronic. And he proves it. I was gonna do a video on it, and I just couldn't. It was so dumb. There's some things that they're just too dumb for clicks. It's not worth my time. I can't sit through because I'd have to listen to the argument like 20 times.
Yeah,
the video to break it down. It's just like I couldn't take it. I was like, oh, forget it, dude, broad dog. Okay, dude, broad dog, you got it. You're right. F you. It's for effing kids. F you, Fandom Menace. You dirty, terrible people who donate to causes and protect independent creators.
That's right. How dare we? How dare we? Yeah. We're the low scum of the earth. We're haters, racist, sexist, bigots, etc. And any evidence to the contrary is summarily ignored. It's absolutely disgusting. But I just want to say welcome to the chat. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here on this Sunday night for the Inquisition. JPR PH1, Jerk Major, Mikey Woods, Heiress of Chaos, Atticus X, Sporking News Podcast, Grey Troll, Dan Man X, Mr. Ragno, Mira J, Mark the Infinitely Tired, Uncle Remus, Jeff Soul, Purple Lady, Michelle P, Hologram Nunchuck Blasted Heath, Chris Persia, Bionic Belly Button, Joshua Long, Space Cat 601, Levitan 71, Mexican Iron Man, Karate Stick, One Up, 147 Stellar Heather, John Q, Mateo, Red Tiger, Michael Sullivan, and many, many, many more. Hail all and welcome tonight to the Inquisition. Well, this week has seen the second Batwamen, and we're going to go ahead and broadcast for the next couple of hours and take a break and watch Batwamen and then come back and do a live review of it for 30 minutes. So sit tight, folks, for that. It is coming, and our wrath will be, shall we say, uncontained, because this Batwoman thing is just awful. And I can't believe that the CW, which started out with Arrow, has come down to this, where we got Batwoman and then Supergirl back to back on the same night. And no, that is not as fun as it sounds. Batwoman and Supergirl back to back. Well, maybe if the director of porno Captain Marvel had done it, it might have been, rather meritorious. But as it is,
Axel Braun, yes,
yeah. If Axel Braun had done it, maybe. But as it is, yeah. Nah, no. Okay. Well, Gary, I tell you what, Grand Inquisitor Beekler, what do you think we ought to start with tonight?
Let's get the appeal out of the way, because I know people are going to want to bring it up, and I just because I'll be doing more live streams. We just did a huge telethon on this, and we are here judging pop culture. So this is, of course, we're judging CBS for their continued, in my opinion, theft of the tardigrades point-and-click adventure game. Our friend Anas Abdeen is fighting this giant uphill battle against a giant corporation, and you guys have stepped up. Our goal was to get like $5,000 immediately to keep the ball rolling, and then the next goal was 20. I decided to just make the GoFundMe for 20,000, which is an insane amount of money. Come on, let's be real. And we are at $16,170 in 2 days. It's phenomenal, and that's the Fandom Menace. So you guys get a cab ride home. You get an Uber $50 gift certificate, and a hot date wherever you want the next time I'm buying. So, like, thank you so much. Well, I'm sure some mods will link that in the description.
Absolutely.
And we'll check
Absolutely.
back on it a little bit, but this isn't going to be a telethon for that. I want to set some boundaries. We're going to be going hard on Star Trek, Star Wars, Freddie Prinze Jr., Joker critics, and we're talking about film critics, not just critics. You know, it's okay to not like the film, but we've got things to say. But I just wanted to start out with that. So thank you very much to everybody, and we've gotten like $1,000 donations. It's crazy. So thank you again. I don't want to get anybody's hopes too high. I mean, this is going to be we're fighting this battle because it's I won't say unwinnable, very hard to win.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean we don't fight, and we need to fight for an OS, because this is a fight for independent creators everywhere, and this could happen to any YouTuber. This could happen to any of us. With some giant corporation and basically admitting they took it and saying, yeah, but we can outspend you. So screw you, little peon, you know?
Yeah.
And the company that owns Star Trek and the Star Trek ideals, the Star Trek ideals that it does not live up to. And it tries to say it's an inclusive show and a show with empathy, to where they made it a theme of supposedly of season 2. This doesn't show a lot of empathy to me. I know.
Yeah, empathy, right? Jesus Christ. Yeah, that last season had nothing to do with empathy at all. I don't get it. You can't just label something empathetic as you're, cutting baby heads off and, assaulting the treasured history of a whole generation of fans. It's not really all that empathetic, is it?
No. And Sarek adopted Michael Burnham to teach his son empathy, who had a human mother.
Right. While forbidding the human mother to go ahead and teach Spock empathy. See? You see that? Because she wouldn't teach him empathy because Sarek didn't want it. And Sarek saw that she wasn't teaching empathy. And so he recruited the most wooden, unempathetic woman that he could find to come in and teach Spock about empathy. Yeah.
That's just one of the hundreds of problems with that show. So if you haven't watched it, and a lot of you haven't, and don't, and even less are watching the short treks apparently. So
yeah, the short treks are not living long or prospering. And I mean, judging just from the way that our channels have not had our reviews get traction, it just shows that even the people that hate this stuff and hate watching our reviews are not even interested in Star Trek anymore. I think it has never been more thoroughly and completely dead than it is at the point where even the haters can't be bothered to hate on it anymore. I mean, could it be any more dead? What do you think? I don't know.
We're there, and this is coming up to Picard, so this is the scary bit. And either way, so if Picard, anything's possible. Let's say Picard is a success. And when I say success, I mean critically acclaimed by fans, most fans, not everybody. Let's say 75%. Gets CBS All Access, a lot of subscribers. Everybody's happy, and we can't wait for season 2. That's a successful show, not a split fan base, despite what Alex Kurtzman tries to say. Even if that happens, what does that do for Star Trek Discovery, which is not a success and won't be? Like, there's no prayer for that show to be a success. I think it ends it either way. I think this sham will be up soon. We're starting to see it. We're starting to see it with Star Wars. The dominoes are starting to fall there.
Oh yeah,
and CBS is they've hidden a lot. They can chirp out parrot analytics, for lack of a better term, as much as they want. I'd be very interested to see what, and I think we could look that up. Let's see what the interest is in these short treks. And I don't think it's there at all. And this was their stopgap until Picard, which is in like 3 months, right?
Mhm.
So and things are not looking good for Picard. There's no excitement. Dude, you know toys.
Oh, yes.
How is there not a specialty toy aside forget Eagle Moss, like a hot toy? How is there not a 1/6 scale Picard, which you make in a limited run? Basically, each purchase pays for each figure, 1 for 1, damn near, because they do like 1,500. Why? And it's the easiest thing to license. Why doesn't that exist?
Well, I think that there is an action figure of Picard along with one of Kirk that McFarlane Toys released.
Yep.
That looks pretty good, but that is the next generation Picard. That's the real Picard. Now, this garbage, everyone walked away from the table, allegedly, from what our sources have told us. There was a huge franchisee rebellion, and they just said, we cannot sell this shit. In my video that has been largely ignored, I put forth this information from my source that said that CBS tried to strong arm the major toy companies and licensees and say, either you're going to go ahead and license some of this Picard stuff, or we're going to yank all of your Star Trek licenses and you'll be out in the cold. And they chose out in the cold because they couldn't afford the losses from licensing Picard shit.
Yeah.
So that's how bad it is.
If they could get released from that, they probably would be pretty happy, because licensees pay for this for the privilege of printing. Well, I mean, yeah, they could even print those blocks of wood, like those Mikey Spock figures that we got. They can produce those, and those would probably sell. Those would probably sell, to be honest with you. And yeah, they can't even do that. Nobody wants.
Well, they are flammable.
They are.
They're way more flammable than your standard action figure. So, of course, that's really the only proper embodiment of Mikey Spock is one you can absolutely burn come Christmas.
It's it's such a sad state, and just the continuing. They're trying. I understand CBS. They gave Kurtzman all this money. They got to be kicked. I mean, come on. The reality has got to set in. You gave the director of The Mummy all this goddamn money, like he's Noah Hawley or something like that, or like he's Ronald D. Moore. Like and look what you get. You're getting extreme disinterest.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time Picard rolls around, I don't know if that's gonna help them. It was pointed out CBS doesn't have the Super Bowl to help them out this year.
Nope.
So there's going to be real consequences. And listen, they needed that out before the holidays. They have to be pissed that they delayed that, because January's, people still watch the most TV, October, November, December. And they blew it.
They did. Well, that's because they were delayed a whole month in terms of their start date for the production by this very licensee revolt, and they were forced to try and redesign things on the fly and bring it closer into Star Trek canon, into next generation neighborhoods, and shit, it still didn't work from what I understand. They just could not un-Kurtzmanize it enough to appeal to the licensees. So that is why, kids, that you don't see any Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Picard merchandise in Walmart and Target, because nobody wants this shit. Just straight up. That's what it is. And why? Because it is garbage. It is insane. It is moronic. It is trash on any possible level. And in light of that, I want to talk about what I did not mention in my Q&A and the Trouble with Edward dual Shark Trek reviews. I did it all in one video, and here's what happened, folks. Okay. Look, watching this garbage is painful. I always feel like a goddamn rat in a coffee can when I'm watching this shit, and I am eager to escape, to do whatever I have to do to escape. And so the minute that a end credit comes up, I hit the door. I hit the door running.
Same here.
I just bolt. I had no idea that there was a post-credit scene. And that's what I want to talk about right now. So the trouble with Edward feature was about tribbles. And what do they do to the tribbles? The simplest, cleanest little alien story that they had. They pervert them. They pervert them entirely. So essentially, tribbles are the product of a mad geneticist name of Edward, who the tribbles breed slowly, according to STD. And Edward had this idea of making them a food source on this colony. And so he genetically engineers them to no longer be slow, but to replicate quickly. And he does this, folks. He does this. How would you, Gary, how would you genetically engineer tribbles to multiply rapidly?
I would find something known in the wild, be it a Star Trek alien that's in canon, or a, I don't know, an Earth animal that replicates like a bunny rabbit. You know,
or even insects, for God's sake.
Yes, yeah, that's even faster. Replicates, reproduces.
That's right.
Yes, that's what I would find.
Well, you're smart. You're smarter than the writers of STD, and you're smarter than the scientists in this bizarro universe that they call Star Trek now. No, Edward, the geneticist, puts human DNA into the tribbles for colonists to eat so that they will be eating human DNA. And he uses his own DNA he puts into the tribbles to make them multiply quickly, even though humans have some of the slowest reproduction in nature. It takes 9 months to make a human. So how the hell is that going to speed up the tribbles? I don't know, but it's offensive as all fuck for changing canon, absolutely disregarding and changing canon to make it that man made tribbles. Starfleet made tribbles. Whereas before in the series, I mean, these were naturally, fast reproducing creatures because, like rabbits, they were easy prey. And so the only way that they survived on their native planet was to reproduce quickly. There was nothing about genetically engineering them with human DNA. This is more of the kind of perversions that Kurtzman and Abrams and Secret Hideout and Bad Reboot routinely do, trying to basically fuse their viral DNA, their viral creative DNA, into the DNA of existing franchises to corrupt them from the start, to go back to the very start as far as they can. Look at like Star Wars Episode 9, where they're going to bring Palpatine back, thus invalidating in a very real way Return of the Jedi. And thus retroactively making all the things that happened before just that much more diminished. That is their specialty. So here we've got, not only did they engineer tribbles, but they went ahead and introduced human DNA into the tribbles. And then in this episode, they just multiply like Jiffy Pop tribbles. That in the original, the more you fed them, the more they reproduced. In this one, they just start popping out tribbles, and then the tribbles that are popped out grow and pop out more tribbles, and then the babies pop out more tribbles, all without eating or any kind of nutrition or anything else, which is like basically a biological perpetual motion machine. So that's idiotic. In the end of the episode, basically, they reproduce and reproduce and reproduce to the point where they have to abandon ship, and the ship structurally fails from all the pressure from the tribbles inside pushing out on the hull. That is the level of shit that we are dealing with. But the after credit scene is the worst part of all. In that scene, they have a commercial, folks. They have a commercial in the Star Trek universe for Tribble cereal. Now, you just watched this, Gary. Describe the scene to them, if you would, please.
So the commercial starts out like you're watching it on a VHS. How this fits into 23rd century context, I don't know, but it plays like an 80s cereal commercial. Of course, it's all girls. They're at a replicator. They get the tribbles, the cereal box out of the replicator, and the kids start eating the human DNA tribbles, which would be a form of cannibalism, I would think. But then I thought, well, this show likes cannibalism. It's brought it up now twice, 3 times. And it really does show the perverse nature of Hollywood right now. I don't mean to start, getting all moral on y'all, but I think one of the biggest problems with Hollywood, and I noticed this is what I started seeing with comic book writing, is the writers have become so jaded and so insular in their little echo chambers that they have lost sight of what heroic is, and they become so subversive that they see the hero as the villain now. So they can't write genuine fun. Like, this was supposed to be funny. This commercial was supposed to be funny, and I think it was written. I know the episode was written by somebody who worked on Silicon Valley, which under the tutelage of Mike Judge can be at least the first season was genius. And the reason Mike Judge is genius with this comedy is he puts an element of humanity into the ridiculousness of it, like Office Space and stuff. This guy, the apple fell very far from the Mike Judge tree. And it was completely unfunny, and cringy as hell. And it's embarrassing. Embarrassing is the word that I associate with Star Trek now. And I said this last week with Batwoman, and I think we're gonna get right back to where nerds are getting wedgied and their asses kicked in bathrooms in high schools if we keep supporting stuff like this. And it's grotesque in a way, seeing the kids eat the tribbles with fur. I mean, like, they're going to be coughing up fur balls for a while. So, I mean, it wasn't even thought up. This was a comedy, quote unquote, episode written in a day, maybe in a couple of hours. There was no time to even put into this, to even thought or anything. Plus, I just watched the episode. So how did Kirk not hear of tribbles then? This is an incident that probably would have made the rounds through the Federation. And how did a human being eat a tribble when they have an effect on the nervous system that makes you want to love and pet them and caress them? And Bones studied these tribbles and found no human DNA in them. I just watched the episode. It wasn't brought up. He knew. All he found out was they're basically when they're eating, they're born pregnant. That's it. And it makes absolutely no sense to put human DNA in them for them to reproduce.
Since that wouldn't speed them up at all.
No, it would slow them down.
Not at all. So let's if I may, let me just break down all the things that are wrong with this goddamn thing. Okay. I mean, it is mind-boggling how wrong this thing is, and I just want to try to catalog it in a reasonable, logical way. Okay, first of all, it directly violates canon, even more than the trouble with tribbles, because in Enterprise, which happens a long time before Discovery happens, they I think it was Phlox was talking to someone on the show, talking about tribbles, talking specifically about tribbles, and saying, oh yes, on their native planet, they're easy prey for the reptilians that are on there, and so they breed rapidly so they don't go extinct. So already before Edward did anything to them, they were known for reproducing quickly. So of course, these assholes would not know that because they don't know anything about Star Trek. They cannot even be bothered, Gary. They cannot even be bothered. Forget about watching the episode. They can't even Google Memory Alpha for data on tribbles just to see all the information on tribbles right there on a silver platter. It take them literally 3 minutes. They couldn't even be bothered to do that. So that breaks canon entirely. No excuses, things that came before them. Now, the Federation is not a money-based system. It is not a capitalist system. It is some kind of weird socialist utopia. They don't care about money. They can replicate diamonds and all this shit. It doesn't make any difference to them. So the idea that the replicator would replicate a box of tribble cereal with advertising to appeal to kids, and instead of just a bowl of tribbles, say, is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that is not they're not going to be advertising and shilling tribbles to appeal to kids. That's a capitalist thing. So it doesn't fit in that mold of the universe either. So when these kids are eating tribbles, they are eating the whole tribbles. They are eating the hair. They are also eating whatever guts there are, including any excrement or waste products, which cannot be healthy. I mean, basically eating raw tribbles from a box. And so, I mean, what does this say about the current state of Star Trek? What does it say about the attitude of CBS towards its fans? It is nothing but a huge fuck you. We are no longer even trying. We have no respect for Star Trek. We have no respect for you. We don't give a fuck. We are all short timers here. We know that this show is about to go down the toilet, and we're just amusing ourselves at the cost of fans and the integrity of the fucking franchise. Can you imagine any other iteration of Star Trek where they were going ahead and making fun, actively fun of themselves and their fans, anyone that actually gives a damn about this show before? Never, never. I tell you how seriously Roddenberry took Star Trek. Roddenberry basically got rid of Gene Coon because of the trouble with tribbles, because of a piece of the action, because Roddenberry felt uncomfortable even with the level of humor that we fans adore. That he came on the set after he'd been away making Pretty Little Maids in a Row. And he'd left Kuhn basically in charge. And he comes and he hears laughter on the set. And he goes, what the fuck is going on? And he goes over there and he sees that they're shooting a piece of the action and having an uproarious great time. And he is absolutely like furious at this. So how do you think he would feel about a commercial that violates every single aspect of the Star Trek universe and basically pisses on canon, on the very notion that this is a serious show, and pisses on the hard work of all the other creatives out in the last 50 years who did blood, sweat, and tears to make sure that this was a viable, serious, credible universe? It's a big middle finger to Roddenberry, to DC Fontana, Bob Justman, Herb Solow, every goddamn Gene Coon, Rick Berman, Ron Moore. Everybody that did this, that worked so hard for it and cared about it, it's a big fuck you. We just don't care. We're gonna we know that this fucking thing is going down the toilet, and we are just gonna go ahead and salt the earth and burn everything behind us. That's my take. What do you think?
No, I totally agree with that. They can't even be troubled to care. They just don't. There was no effort put in this episode. And again, I'm not like a full on Trek. I can't name episodes. I'd have to look some stuff up. Right. I've always said that I'm a big fan, but I'm no expert. And I could see everything wrong just in that one commercial. And the fact that they're even trying comedy, like they think it's easy. It's embarrassing. It was so embarrassingly bad. Whoever signed off on this, on these short treks, you're just making it worse. Every time they come out with something, it gets worse. It's not getting better. And this doesn't even have Star Trek Discovery people in it. And I think they're giving us, Pike for some reason. I don't know why Anson Mount came back to play parts in short treks. I'm wondering if they shot this at the end of season 2 or something.
I'm sure. Yeah, they did, dude. I mean, they were shooting the short treks in between setups. Pike's here. Well, he's only got like 3 or 4 lines, so we'll just grab this while they're setting up, Delta Gamma 6 over wherever, what I mean? Like over on another soundstage. Oh, just come over here. We'll slap some lights on. It's real easy. We set it up in the elevator. Okay, so when Spock and number 1 aren't actually doing anything else, they go ahead and roll between takes. I mean, it is literally nickel and dime production.
God, it's sad too. And and nobody cares anymore. And here we are. We're now there. We're now at Star Trek apathy, and we're just playing this out. And it's going to go on for another year. That's the sad part. And by the time Star Trek Discovery, I mean, there'll be a spike in interest with Picard. No, I'm not going to lie there. That's going to happen. But when Discovery comes back, it'll be kind of like the short treks coming out. People will go, "What? Oh, Discovery came out? I didn't even know." Like, when the short trek came out at New York Comic Con, I had to be told by John F. Trent. Like,
Me
nobody
too.
knew. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know.
I
Somebody
guess
told me. It's like, hey, have you looked at this? And I'm like, oh God, I rolled my eyes and I got an instant stomach ache. And it's like, all right, I'll go watch this shit, you know. And oh my God, it's so bad. I mean, it's almost genius, Gary. It's almost genius to the point all the way around the clock, you know, circling back to genius of how bad they can make just 14 minutes. It is astonishing, bad to the point where nobody could parody it. It is parody proof because it is already so bad. It is its own parody.
It really is. The parody is a parody of itself. It's a character, not even a caricature of itself. It's self-deprecation. Self-deprecation is self-humiliation, but that's what it is. And I feel bad for Star Trek fans. You deserve better, but this could be it. I mean, you might be looking at a long period of maybe some audio dramas, some novelizations, some comic books, but this is live action. This is it. Unless Quentin Tarantino decides he wants to make the movie. Yeah, fire Kurtzman. I mean, listen, Kurtzman's he's running other shows. This dude isn't good enough to be somebody's personal assistant. Like, I wouldn't trust him to get a cup of coffee and not fuck it up. You know?
No.
This guy's running Star Trek. I mean,
not anymore, dude. I think he's out. Honestly, I mean,
it looks like a production that's run by committee. It does.
Yeah.
It certainly does. And that never works. Star Trek requires a singular mind, whoever that is, man or woman, somebody who is knowledgeable in Star Trek, but it requires a strong personality and a singular mind, creative mind behind it to run it. Mm-hmm. It can't be a committee or some half-assed wannabe fan or somebody who just wants a franchise so he can run around Hollywood and tell everybody he's got a franchise. Kurtzman, you will be known forever as the guy who killed one of the biggest franchises in the history.
A number of the biggest franchises.
Yep.
He put an end to Universal's dream of reviving the Universal monster movies in a new iteration. I mean, he single-handedly did that with Mummy. He fucked up Sony Spider-Man to no end. This guy's terrible.
I can't figure out how Mummy failed. I mean, they didn't really connect it to anything from the Mummy. They gave us a mommy, and it's dumbfounding. Tom Cruise, can't see how that failed.
Yeah, well, Kurtzman. You spell failure Kurtzman. God, that's basically spelling lesson important.
I am with you though. I am honestly impressed how bad it was. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Oof. I mean, it's almost like you stand up and do a slow clap. Like you can't believe the amount of incompetence. And let me tell you, folks, something out there. I don't think there's any look. Our Inquisition audience is incredibly intelligent. So I don't think there's anybody out there fooled. But just in case there's anyone out there holding out hope that because Michael Chabon took over Picard and is trying to save Picard, Chabon wrote Q&A. And Chabon wrote the goddamn Calypso short trek before that. And you know what's funny about Chabon? Both of those episodes erupted in song. Both of them, dude. You think about that?
Yeah,
Calypso, right? It had the musical
you pointed
number.
It out. I'm like, yeah, he did get 2 musical numbers. So maybe he thought again. He was like, I'm just going to do one of these things and I'm out of here. So I'll half-ass it. I'll wrap the story around a song. Whoop-de-whoop. Get my check. Oh wait, you want me to run the show? Huh?
Makes me sick. Chabon ain't gonna save anything. There is no saving STD. You're right, Chris Persia. There is no saving STD. And Luca V says, "Oh, what a big man you are, Kurtzman. Here, let me buy you a pack of gum. I'll show you how to chew it." I love a quote from Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross, Luca V. That is fucking great. That is fucking great. Blasted Heath says the Mummy killed an entire franchise in one fell swoop. R.I.P. Dark Universe. Absolutely right. David Fredrickson, I refused to watch the new Mummy film because it had Cruise in it. I despise that foo. Well, he is kind of a fool. He's been in some good things, but yeah. The best Trek right now is a mod for the game called Stellaris. It's from TOS era all the way into TNG, and it's got all the races, and it's so in-depth and great. Wow. A mod for the game Stellaris. I would like a look at that. If somebody would shoot me a link to it or something, I think that would be fantastic. God.
It sounds like the tribbles from this episode fit into the Prime canon, though. I could see that happening. Maybe that's what they were referencing. Is the con tribbles?
Yeah,
the super I don't know. I don't know how that would
they
play
already. Jesus, I don't know. I just Kurtzman is such a talentless fuck. I mean, that's the only way to. That's the only way to put it. I don't know what to say. I mean, let's pass sentence on this. I mean, if unless you have something else that you want to say about Q&A. I mean, it's just it's ultra dense garbage. It has as much garbage in it in terms of, pound for pound as a regular episode of STD, which is astonishing to me.
My final words on it, especially with the commercial at the end, and it's got two girls and a woman in there, and it's such ridiculous pandering they're getting into now. I'm gonna make a prediction for Star Trek Discovery that there will never be more than one man on the screen at a time. Because it was getting that way towards the end, and it's so silly. And the thing that's pathetic about it is this stuff is written by a dude, and it's dudes doing this, and it's almost like they're being blackmailed. That's how it plays.
Yeah,
it plays like, I am going to release these pictures to Pornhub or whatever if you don't write all women. Just make Starfleet just female fleet. Just do it. I mean, we're there already, and it's not like they write it with any. It's superficial. It's none of the. Listen, what they did to Walter Mosley, what they're doing to Anas Abdeen, but they're like trying to, hey, if we put 5 more women on the screen, people might forget.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I there's not enough bad things to say about this. I mean, I don't know if you've watched my video yet, Gary, but I was really getting into perverse realms of.
I saw, yeah.
I'm struggling. Even erudite and literate as I am, I'm struggling to find a way to express just how loathsome I find this garbage. And it's stretching me to the breaking point where it's even hard for me to come up with new and exciting ways to talk about donkey shows in Tijuana and comparing it. It's like, well, okay, I've already done the donkey show thing. How can I put a new spin on it? But I'll keep rising to the challenge, but it may have to go on Harvey's channel if people are not gonna watch this thing. One cool thing though, I just looked at my page. I'm only 5 subs away from hitting 57,000.
Oh, we can get 5 subs right now.
I don't know. Maybe
there's a large portion of live streaming audiences generally aren't subs, and a lot of people don't like to sub. They're just like, they watch, they know where to find you. But if there's 5 of you out there, just click the bell.
Now it's up to 98. So I think there's 2 more. I'm only 2 away from 57,000.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
It's hard to come up with enough words to pass on how bad this show is. The only thing I can think of now is I hate to do this, but I'm a YouTuber. I got a job to do. I got to find people who like it. I got to see what they're saying about it, because I generally don't. I haven't sought out anybody who likes the show. I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure they're doing videos, but I'm going to see what they have to say. And, I'm not going to attack them personally or anything like that, or even make videos about them, but I just want to hear, is what the rationalization is behind this. I'm guessing it's Star Trek. Hey, at least it's Star Trek. At least we're getting some Star
I
Trek.
hit 57,000, dude.
There
I
you
just
go.
wanted to say I hit 57,000. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, you guys. 57,000 even.
Old Underwood said subbed. Thanks, Old Underwood.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Well, it's a bright spot in the otherwise angry, gloomy Inquisition, and I thank you guys so much for that. This thing is so bad. Look, it's going to be the same old tired bullshit where they say, "Oh, they're just jealous. Oh, it's not their daddy's Trek. Oh, they're old fuddy-duddies, whatever." I've never seen a substantive analysis of the content of Star Trek Discovery to defend it. Never. I never have seen anyone make a cogent argument, because there is no possible cogent argument to be made. I mean, I rarely go out on a limb like that. I mean, I'm not so arrogant as to believe that I have all the answers all the time. But objectively looking at it, not merely as Star Trek, but as simply television, as simply entertainment, this thing is brain damaged. You
really
cannot like this thing if you have any goddamn sense or reflection whatsoever. The only people that can like this garbage are attention deficit, distracted people who tweet while watching and only half-ass pay attention. That's the only way. That's really literally the only way. You have got to be, Jesus Christ, either extremely distracted or extremely indifferent or just plain dumb to like this shit, because it is but stupid, the bottom of the fucking barrel. I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude, but that's just the way it is.
There's some people like just don't have very good taste. I mean, I've seen it. I saw all tastes, make, and sizes at the comic shop, and there's people who came in who hated Spider-Man, and they would like the worst kind of comic book. But what am I going to do?
I don't know, man.
But it's and there's people who ate ice cream, but there's people who like Star Trek Discovery.
So let's sentence these short treks, shall we?
All right.
And then we're going to get to some super chats. Let's sentence this. I propose, first of all, that they be flogged with, a cat of nine tails, 40 lashes, then thrown back down onto the rack and stretched out, really, really stretched out, and then pounded with some goddamn, mallets, meat tenderizing mallets, to really kind of break up the bones of these short treks. Not the people who are making it. I'm talking about the short treks as a concept. Then we take it up, put it on the wheels, spin it around, let Igor play, Vanna White for a while, spinning the wheel. And then I turn them over to you, Gary. What do you want to do to these short treks?
I want Alex Kurtzman to be subjected to his own work. I want him to be treated how he treats a story. Whatever thing we can, whatever analogy that is, I don't know.
I've got it. A Clockwork Kurtzman.
Yes.
Go ahead and strap him in the theater and Clockwork Kurtzman his ass and make him watch that which he hath wrought. By his deeds shall ye groan him.
Yes. Either that or cover him up in coke and throw him into a coke-starved room of Hollywood actors. And
sniffed.
They'll rip him to shreds.
Sniffed to yes, to oblivion. Yes. Well, he's so fond of cannibalism. Maybe he can be snorted up by the failed actors. Yeah, they're weird. Funny?
Who thinks? I mean, cannibal kids eating people. Ha ha ha! That's so funny.
Yeah, it's the same thing as let's count all the cannibalism. We've got Giorgio girl eating the, what do you call them? Tendrils of Saru, the polyps, whatever the fuck they're called.
Giorgio got eaten by the Klingons.
Right.
They feasted on her after they killed her. And then we have this. Maybe I missed something. Oh well, no. And then the Saru's race was food for the little
Right.
squid creature. There is
Right.
an obsession with like eating each other. What? That's weird, right? I mean,
That's Hollywood.
yeah.
That's Hollywood. Yeah, these people, I think it was just as simple as they were going for shock value, and they're soulless cretins that, they have nothing true to say, so they go for their idea of Game of Thrones was all the gross stuff in Game of Thrones and none of the depth of acting and characterization and, world building. They took the wrong lesson away from Game of Thrones and thought it was all about, tits and chopped off heads. That's what they thought.
And not thinking about the complexity of good men and women in service of bad people, and showing the grays, really getting into trying to and sometimes succeeding in subverting some Tolkien tropes. I wouldn't call them tropes. I call it good storytelling. But that's what George R. Martin does. Yeah, you're absolutely right. They tried to do that. I'm sorry, but you look at Alex Kurtzman. My first impression is not that guy is the life of the party. Now that's a fun guy. That's a guy I want to hang with. No, I can see him on like, oh God, I saw some picture. Somebody put up a meme on my Facebook group of men in 1969, and it was Easy Rider. They're on these giant choppers, and then it shows men in 2019, and they have bicycle helmets on, and they're riding those Segways, and they all like are a little doughy in the middle with their button-up shirts tucked in, yeah, that's Kurtzman.
He's basically what they used to call a nebbish.
Nebbish.
Just a nebbish, just a schlemiel, a schmuck, a schnorrer. The Yiddish had many, many words for what Kurtzman is in their wisdom, and the guy's just a schlub.
Schlub.
He's just a schnook. There's so many words that they had that describe Kurtzman perfectly. So.
I love Town Center Film said subject Kurtzman to some Vogon poetry.
Yes, I love it. Dude, we've got the best folks on YouTube. This audience,
the
man.
Surrealism of the underlying metaphor.
Oh yes, they get it exactly. Yeah. Dave Bob got a Woody Allen reference. Exactly, sir. Exactly. Schmeckel says Mr. Ragno. Exactly. A schlubby schlep. Yes. These guys are fucking awesome. You guys are great.
1,800 likes. Wait a minute.
No, I think urging on, folks. If you are on watching, here and you are enjoying, yes, we got 1,800 watching.
Awesome.
If you would go ahead and push that like button, give the thumbs up, send YouTube a message that hey, don't demonetize these guys. They're doing good. YouTube needs to hear that because their algorithm certainly doesn't. And
we are the place to go because there's no other place to go.
Yep.
This gets pointed out a lot. There's all the late night talk show hosts. There's Bill Maher. There's John Oliver. Those are all for the same type of people. There's nobody. There's nowhere to go for the middle or just somebody who doesn't want to talk about politics and just wants to talk about entertainment, even when it's bad or when it's good. And we've been praising the hell out of the Joker lately. This is that place to go.
The wonderful and amazing Robot Shlomo is in the chat. Hello, Robot Shlomo, Captain Rob, good to see you, man. And he says he's got a good one. He says Kurtzman is a skinny hipster who moved into Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and says, I feel so in touch with the diversity of the city when he pushed out older people who lived there for years.
And then he complains about gentrification.
Yes, exactly. Good one, Rob. Good one. All right, we have passed sentence on that goddamn Tribble commercial, which is there's not enough bad stuff we can even say about it. Honestly, it's CBS for the first time just advertising publicly their contempt that they are no longer even trying. And it's like, okay, well, you know what? Fuck you then. You shall reap what you've sown. So, when this thing goes under and all of you bastards are out of work, And we will not forget, by the way. We will not forget. Every time Damon Lindelof has a show, every time Carlton Cuse goes out there, I call attention to it. We have a long goddamn memory, and we do not forget, and we do not forgive.
Carlton Cuse is going to be doing the Hitchhiker show. He's going to be doing the Hitchhiker show. That's like getting Martin Scorsese to do Mr. Rogers. I mean, it's like, what? Carlton Cuse doing the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy show. Let's find the guy who is like the least Douglas Adams on the planet.
Yeah.
And get him to run the show.
That makes me sick. It absolutely makes me sick.
God, I hope that doesn't happen.
All right, man. We've got some super chats here. I'm gonna plunge into these. They're very good. John Balderdash, hello, with a $5 super chat. Thank you, John. Says, hail the Inquisition. Finally caught you again. Hope the Overlord got my email. Yes, John, I did. I have not had a chance to respond yet, sir. But my intention this week is I'm going to kind of step back from YouTube for a week, and I'm going to instead focus on infrastructure for my channel, doing some maintenance things, maintaining Patreon, answering all of you on your emails and stuff. So just watch for that. That's what's coming here this week. He says, I had a very bad day at work, so I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Good, John.
I'm sorry. I'm
so sorry, man. But listen, I will be answering you soon. All of you that have been, I've had correspondence pile up, but I just have to. I have to step back. Whatever the algorithm does to my channel, it has to do to my channel. I've really got some stuff I got to do on my channel. I've got new characters and new stuff to show you, and I just got to take the time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Hail John Balderdash. I shall be in touch. Thunder Robots with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Thunder Robots, who says, oh my God, the Banana Splits movie is the new Terminator franchise. It was a great movie, and they indicated they're going to make more films. I want the next one. Boy, that's weird. I heard somebody bitching about the Banana Splits movie the other day, saying that they took a good-natured, Sid and Marty Krofft kind of Saturday morning thing from the 60s and turned it into this dark, Five Nights at Freddy's kind of monster thing. Do you know anything about the Banana Splits movie?
What?
That's what I heard, that it was already out. I mean, nobody noticed it. It turned the Banana Splits into these, fucking awful monsters.
That's weird. Yeah, I heard they were doing it. That's a very interesting take on it. And that, God, are you sure Kurtzman wasn't in charge of that? That sounds like something he'd do.
I'm not at all sure that Kurtzman didn't have something to do with it. I've not heard anything about that, Thunder Robots. Well, he says the new Terminator franchise. So maybe it's like he liked the graphic horror take on the Banana Splits. I know a lot of people. Yeah, Monster Huntress Rune says Banana Splits equals Five Nights at Freddy's the movie.
Interesting.
And Five Nights at Freddy is actually pretty horrendous. Oh, Dilbertson, thank you. He says, if you need any extra hands during your upgrades, I stand ready as always. I do, dude. I do badly, and I will be in touch with you this week. I'm just like, okay, if my subs grind to a halt, so be it. I just need to do this.
After we're live, I have a suggestion for your return. It'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about a thing. Tito's World wants to point out that at the end of the short treks, there were 9 different executive producers for a 14-minute episode. So,
oh, God Almighty, these fucking people are absolutely painful. Oh,
that's
Tim
a producer for every minute and 50 seconds.
Wow. What worthless scum. I would take my name off. It would be Cordwainer Bird for me.
Yeah.
Tim Christ says, greetings. It's my birthday. I'm 44 years young. Entertain me, oh dark overlord. Well, I think that calls for Lieutenant Columbo singing a song. Tim Christ, here you go. Sure. I hope you're not that Christ, because I know that story ends very badly around that age, sir. But a happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tim Christ. Happy birthday to you. Lieutenant Columbo singing happy birthday to Tim Christ. I don't know if it was entertaining, but it's what passes for entertainment here. uh, on the Inquisition, where we're too angry to be funny. It's just, oh, God damn it. It makes me sick. My stomach hurts, dude. Seriously.
No, I got a little bit of a headache when I was watching. It reminded me of my Last Jedi headache when I was watching that the end of that short trek. I was like,
God, dude.
This is how Star Trek dies. Nobody watches it. Did Star Trek die if it fell in a forest and didn't make a noise? Did it die?
Yeah, like rotten wood, I think. Thank you, Thunder Robots. Sporking News Podcast with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Sporking News Podcast, who says, Hail Gary and Doomcock, STD apologists attacking me all day today, but worth every insult because hashtag justice for Anas growing. Thank you for the support. Hashtag the fandom menace. No greater love hath a fan who takes sticks and stones for the sake of his geek brother. And that is you, Sporking News Podcast. You're one of the good guys. No doubt about it. Justice for Anas, God damn it. Justice for Anas. And thank you for, stepping up, Gary, and kind of taking the impetus to do the whole, GoFundMe kind of nexus and, shout outs to Midnight's Edge and the rest of the Fandom Menace that has contributed.
It was really impressive. And yeah, I'm a bit burnt from all the live streaming and everything. And Tom, God, I think he did 12 hours.
Oh, my God, he did?
Yeah. And then Rob saying, hit me, baby, one more time. And it was supposed to be bad, but it was actually better than the original version, in my opinion. So,
wow.
Good job. Good job, everybody.
Yeah,
good
man.
Job.
I Friday night, I went 8 hours.
Good God.
Yeah, literally, it was like 7 hours and 50
No Jaloja break
minutes. No Jaloja break, dude.
Woo. Man, it's because your suit. You can pee in your suit.
No, don't spread rumors.
Hey, Iron Man can.
Iron Man, he's gone all soft and soy on us. But so Saturday I was kind of hoarse and absolutely wiped. And then Tom, invited me, and I'm like, okay, I can come on, and I did, maybe 20 minutes or so. But I knew I had EFAP today, and then also the Inquisition, so I was worried about my voice, and I couldn't do more than that. But oh my God, I didn't know he did 12 hours. What a guy!
Yeah,
what a guy!
Hats off to Tom.
And Rob and all the whole crew at Midnight's Edge. Great folks. Thank you, Sporking News Podcast, for taking that shit. Common Sense America, one of my legionnaires with a $1.99 super chat. Hail Common Sense America, who says, my Lord Doomcock, the Common Man cast supports Anas. Yes, thank you guys. And also, I would say to you, if you guys can do a show that's not on Saturdays, I'd be happy to come on. I mean, the conversation kind of ground to a halt. Y'all was saying, come on Saturday. And I was saying, well, I can't really come on Saturday. Can you do Tuesday? And y'all said, come on Saturday. And it's like, well, dude, Saturdays I'm wiped out. After the live streams, I'm just wiped out. So if we can do it some other night, though, I'm more than happy to join you guys. I really am. So, keep at it, dude. Propose something for me. Dilbertson with a 10-pound super chat. Hail Dilbertson, who says, with recent changes in the access media mood music in mind, it feels as though the fandom menace has actually only just begun in the eyes of the disinterested many. Could mass adoption be in sight? So basically, with the changes with Chappelle and with the Joker and Bill Burr, I mean, I think we are really in a, normalcy renaissance, where people can actually be people again and joke around about things and just see movies without any political propaganda in it. It is possible that the normies are ripe to join the movement, Gary.
They are. I think this has been a process over the last year. The Fandom Menace has been a major, if not the pinnacle of this. I think there's a lot of layers to it. We can get right down to Game of Thrones crashing. It crashed because it was a bad TV show, but upon further review, It was full of agenda towards the end. So much so that I didn't recognize it at the time because I was kind of hip deep into the show and the narrative. And now that I've gotten some distance, but that show collapsing brought a lot of people to our channels and Jeremy's channel, bringing them into the Fandom Menace by proxy. And they like, I've had emails going, I had no idea this was going on. And I'm sure you have too. And but I jumped on for Game of Thrones, and what the hell? So preview my video tomorrow. Sorry to plug, sir, but
go ahead.
Towards the end of my video, I found a paragraph in an Access Media article that was critical of the Joker, but it was critical in a way to there's a paragraph in there that absolutely is the principle of the Fandom Menace. While this critic was doing their job and saying, hey, I didn't like this movie very much, and I disagreed, but their final paragraph was a home run, absolute home run. I can't just stay tuned for tomorrow because that is the change we are looking for. It is happening. Now, I think you're right. We are at the beginning of this. This is not something we don't, oh my God. This is something I learned in small business and learned from watching my wife build a small business, myself, my friends, and now watching my fellow YouTubers. When you get momentum, you do not let your foot off the gas. Now, you can take a week off. That's fine. I'm not saying don't take a week off, Doomcock. Please keep yourself rested. But you come back for the fight. You don't go, okay, my job is done here. We won a battle, so we're done. Hell no. You punch the gas pedal. You keep grinding. You keep going. I love, that Jeremy's like upped his video count, even though he's traveling and stuff, and Doomcock and I, we kind of pick our shots. We wait. And there's been a lot of shots that we can pick. I mean, it's sometimes,
it's constant. It's
God,
too much.
Sometimes it's dry, but like right now, I could have made 5 videos over the weekend.
I know it. And the problem is I'm making so many, I need to take some time, not to rest, but actually to work hard on other things for my channel that will pay off in the long run. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
I just have to, and also catch up on all the people that I need to correspond with and build my website, Gary. Just in case, we all, I just think it's smart because we never know what'll happen.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have. It really is. I mean,
it is.
Even on a basic level, it's just something to back up your stuff, and then you can turn it into podcasts and stuff, and that's the easiest part. And it can go on iTunes and stuff.
Exactly. So we're gonna make some progress. But
awesome.
I just wanted to thank Dilbertson for all your help and thank you for the super chat. And I will be in touch, my friend. I definitely will be in touch. It's time for Toxic Town to live. Okay.
Toxic Town.
Toxic Town. God damn it. Legend Seeker with a $9.99 super chat. Hail, Legend Seeker, who says, hail, sir. I haven't seen Joker yet, but since it's pissing off the SJWs for some reason, I have to see what the commotion's about. I'm seeing it tomorrow after work. Good. That, that's the funny thing. I think that Joker is actually having kind of a slow burn growth. I mean, it's not going to be one of these movies that everybody saw in the opening weekend, and then it slacks off. It's actually gaining momentum. I saw something about that it's already grossed like, I mean, is this wrong that it's grossed like 700 million or something like that?
I'll take a look right now.
I heard
I
this.
wouldn't be surprised. And this isn't anything that's going to sell in China, by the way. Oh, by the way, that South Park canceled in China. I finally saw it. Holy shit, that was great.
Was it good? I need to see it. I need to see it.
Everything the Fandom Menace is about, and it's sometimes I know those guys have been kind of falling off of late. Listen, they did 23 seasons of television. I'm a big fan of those two, and that was a wonderful episode. I watched it this morning and I was, oh my God, this one of the funniest scenes, and it has nothing to do with the politics, but it's Kenny playing bass to like a death metal song. And I couldn't stop laughing. It was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen. Little Kenny like jamming on the bass. That was so good.
Right.
So here, let me get box office.
That is beautiful. I mean, Trey Parker, Matt Stone,
they're paying attention to the Fandom Menace.
You think so?
Yes. I mean, it's funny because I think it was they make they're topical, so they make there's a quick turnaround on their stuff. So they had to have been paying attention to the Blizzard situation, maybe, or that was just incredibly good timing. And
I think it's like gold. I think it's just really great timing. Trey Parker, Matt Stone are fantastic.
but
Mickey
if
Mouse
it's
Hong Kong
timing,
protest
then
memes are popping up, he says.
yeah. If that was timing, if they made that episode 2 months ago and that was timing, then I'm going to start getting weird on you and start talking about Destiny, because that is some of the greatest timing of all time.
Well, dude, it's exozone material. Because
yes.
what do I say about the stream of consciousness of the manifested universe and the non-dual nature of existence? That's very much evidence. Synchronicity is the thought processes of that consciousness that is us.
And it's also a very
Joker
good
is sitting
police
at
album.
543,928,787 total
worldwide.
says Chris Persia.
No, that is absolutely correct. So it's $500 million on a budget of what is rumored to be under 50 million.
Yes.
So this could very well be the most profitable movie of all time, which I think the previous one is Blair Witch or something like that. Believe me, you're going to see a lot more of this, which I'm not saying is a good thing, because this was lightning in a bottle. Todd Phillips was the right person for the job. Todd Phillips is a great filmmaker. He is because if you make a great film, then you're a great filmmaker, period. And I like The First Hangover. I thought it was really good. I like a good Vegas movie. It was fun, but and I like Old School a lot, but this is leveling up to a crazy degree. And after spending the day reading negative reviews on this, I think I understand why people don't like it, why critics of a certain ilk don't like it. For one, a lot of critics still like it. They do. But a lot of the big ones don't. And I bet you could all pick what rags they work for. Salon, Fox.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically what they're alarmed about. See, they're, as human beings, they're entertained, but as critics and part of the woke system, they're alarmed that there's no propaganda in it. And they're trying, on EFAP today, I was working with the guys and just breaking down how really these people don't see art. They're trying madly to inject some kind of political content into a movie that is essentially apolitical, really. I mean, it is a character study. It's the kind of movie they used to do,
It is. And you know what it is? It's a comic book origin story. That's what it is. Now, whether it's in his head or not, we can debate that till the cows come home, but it's still a comic book origin story, but done like a real film, like an actual movie. And a real throwback, something you have expertise in. But it totally reminds me of the type of filmmaking they were making in the late 70s, which was very unique at the time. I didn't recognize it. I was a kid. I didn't recognize it 10, 20 years ago. It's only recently where I recognized how unique that period was for film. And I can't exactly put my finger on it, but the reason they don't like dude, there's plenty of political messaging in that movie. Tons of it. It's how it's told. And I think you brought that up. It's told.
I don't think it's advocating for any particular.
No, there's no advocacy. That's it.
Yeah, any human existence has certain situations in it that are politically charged or whatever. But they're not having any kind of propaganda. Really, Joker is in the mold of the 70s anti-hero, which is presenting a world that is essentially extremely dark, and the hero or the protagonist is a gray character that has certain heroic tendencies and certain villainous tendencies. There are no easy answers in these movies.
There are things in there. I caught him on the second viewing. There's clowns that look like the Orange Man. There's the resist sign. But I never saw that as messaging. So it's a story that is about it's a class struggle, which is as old as time. So I don't know if you could see that as a political message.
Yeah,
It's
I
more of
don't. I
a
mean, I think
story.
but
Yeah.
you know,
No, that's how I see it too. I don't see it as a film with
mhm.
an agenda. I just saw it as a story being told. Because I would have been the first to say, like, I don't want to be beaten over the head with this shit. But
Oh no,
that's how you do it. That's how you present a
exactly.
story. And I was focused the first time I saw it completely on Joaquin Phoenix's performance. I was like mesmerized by it.
Mhm.
And I can't believe one critic was giving it, because like the first thing that I praised about the movie was that the lack of dialogue in the beginning, because it was just acting. It was just done through performance.
Mhm.
And that's the first thing the guy criticized, was there was no dialogue. And I'm like, okay, Game of Thrones lack of dialogue, bad. Joker lack of dialogue, good.
Absolutely. You know, on today in the discussion, I was saying that this was a great movie because it was a little bit underwritten in terms of dialogue, because it gave Joaquin Phoenix the room to breathe. It gave him the chance to not be bound by lines, but to actually inhabit the character and do nonverbal things to convey who Arthur Fleck is. I mean, it's a very complete film. And I made the point. I mean, the stairs. You've got the garbage strike. You've got the corruption of the wealthy elite of the city, and you've got the city being invaded by giant rats as a result of the garbage strike. And all of these things are external pressures that are causing, where he says, is it just me or is it getting crazier out there? My take on it is that the entire city, the entire world that Joker inhabits, is a hostile, dark, brutal world.
Mhm.
And Arthur really is actually a genuinely sweet person who longs to bring laughter to the world, and is rebuffed at every opportunity, is beaten and humiliated by just about everyone he meets. The best that he ever can hope for is indifference.
Mhm.
And so, in a way, Arthur, in being a decent person, as he trudges up those stairs every day, is going against the stream of reality. He's going against the grain of brutality and cynicism and hostility and violence of his world. And then when he finally transforms into Joker, he is in harmony with his world. And that is why he is no longer fighting upstream. When he goes back down the stairs as Joker, he is going with the stream. He has become one with this universe. And that is really a stinging indictment, not of him, but of this harsh, brutal, ugly reality.
Yes, which is Gotham City. And it's just a version of it. And again, I didn't want to hear this. So I told you, I'm like, I don't want a Joker origin. I don't need a Joker origin.
Right,
It's the
right.
last thing I want to see. And but this is, what is your common law again? Like a good art will win out no matter what. It can
Yeah,
even,
I
yeah.
basically say that genius is an affirmative defense to prosecution in my court.
There you
Where
go.
they can go ahead and violate canon 10 ways to Tuesday if it's brilliant, if it's by a genius, not a corporation, not a shill, not a soulless marketing hack, but a genius who had a different vision and makes it live and breathe to the point where you just are just like your jaw drops and you say fuck. You know, uh,
Yeah.
I'm not ever going to condemn some genius because he got out of lockstep with canon or anything else. The problem really with these corporations is they have no soul. They have nothing to say. They're just wrecking canon for their own profit. Whereas if a mad genius makes a goddamn film that, makes a cogent, presentation of, I don't know, some goddamn thing where, Captain America is a member of Hydra, but it's just a stunning work of art. Well, you just say, well, it's a standalone movie and it's just a work of genius, and we got to support genius wherever it's found.
Absolutely, and praise it just as much as we
Yeah.
criticize stuff. I was trying to figure out. I mean, what was the last thing that moved me like creatively since I saw the Joker? And I gotta say, it was probably True Detective season 1. I
Oh
was so
God, I
blown.
love that. I love that movie. that series, that miniseries. I mean, oh, it's one of my favorite things of all time.
Yep, Matthew McConaughey's performance, Woody Harrelson's performance, and then Carrie. I'm going to mess up his name. Carrie Fukunagi's directing.
Right,
Directed
right.
every episode. It was perfect, man. Wow, it was good.
I know, man. I was even defending the ending because people were all bent out of shape that
Whoa.
like, I
love
was
that
expecting
ending.
this big supernatural thing, and what was that in the sky? Look, it was perfect. It was perfect. I will defend that to my dying breath. It was fucking perfect. So
Absolutely. No, it was emotional as hell. And I kind of thought they were going that route too. And you can say that stuff was there. It was really understated. And, and that's was the beauty of it. And it's visually, God, one of the best things I've ever seen.
it
So
was.
if you haven't seen True Detective season 1, I can't speak for season 2, but season 1 is perfection, man.
It is perfection. And in the same way, I defend the end of Ron Moore's Battlestar Galactica. I thought it too was perfect. A lot of people disagree with me, but and I get shit to this day, Gary. I get shit where people attack me saying, well, Battlestar Galactica is not canon. I mean, they trash canon. They rebooted the canon, blah, blah, blah. For me, Ron Moore's Battlestar Galactica is that aforementioned work of genius that gets a pass in my court. And also, it's not revising any canon. It's a complete and total reboot that's absolutely divorced from everything. So they're two split realities.
Totally
entirely. And it was beautiful in my view. So, I mean,
totally agree.
I don't insult anyone that hates it. God bless you. You're defending what you think is the superior work. For me, I love both of them for different reasons. And I can accommodate that because genius, I cannot condemn. I just can't.
No. Great. I love Battlestar. Love the soundtracks. I listen to the soundtracks to this day. Bear McCreary. Good stuff.
Echo of Ancients is going. Echo of Ancients is going to bed, and I saw that Echo of Ancients had left a super chat, so I just want to read that before Echo of Ancients goes to bed. Let me see if I can track it down. Hold tight, Echo. Don't leave. Hold on. Scrolling down. Just 1 second. Just one damn second, Admiral. God damn it. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Come on. Curse my metal body. I'm not fast enough. Oh, man. I can't find it. I know you sent me something and I can't see it. Echo of Ancients. Here it is. Echoes of the Ancients with a $5 super chat who says, greetings, my liege. I loved hearing you on EFAP. Thank you so much, Echoes of the Ancients. And I enjoyed doing EFAP. It was a hell of a discussion. And God bless you and get some sleep. And I hope to see you back on the Inquisition next week. All right. I couldn't let Echoes of the Ancients go.
That's totally cool. Gotcha, man.
Let's see. We've got thank you, Dilbertson. Thank you, Legend Seeker. Michael Maloney with a $5 super chat says, hey, it looks like STD season 3 is a ripoff of Star Trek Phase 2. Well, STD is a complete ripoff of everything. So
Andromeda, I heard now I haven't seen 1 second of Andromeda. Okay. But a lot of people said that was probably borrowing a lot from that concept as well.
Right. I mean, have they revealed more of what season 3 is about?
Or
is he just talking about
what we saw in the trailer? Yeah.
Good. Because I know what season 3 is about.
It's probably,
and I'm just waiting to spring it. So it's so bad. You guys will laugh your ass off. When I reveal it, it's it's so fucking bad. I'm just waiting. How long before it drops? Do you know? Is it going to be next year?
It's a year. It's going to be a good year. I think it will be, my guess is it's going to be September of next year.
Oh my God.
because they need to do at least 6 months of post minimum. They're shooting right now, I think still. My guess is it's 8 episodes. I have no information on that. That's just my guess, considering how much it costs. And mm, it's
Okay.
it looks bloody awful, especially
Oh,
compared to
dude,
the Expanse.
it is. Trust me, it is. I've
They're gonna
got,
mess with canon. That's my guess. Is they supposedly went to the future to not mess with canon, and they're
and
probably
they're going to mess with canon.
completely F it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Michael Maloney, that's interesting. Well, I mean, we know that Star Trek Picard is a ripoff of Star Trek Renegades. So
Yep.
why shouldn't season 3 rip off Star Trek Phase 2? I'm not surprised at all, brother. Hail to you, my friend, my legionnaire. Always great to see you turn up here, brother. And thank you for being down at the center of the earth with us. This week, we're going to do a Discord discussion about Joker. So I think it's going to be on Thursday. Look to patreon.com/doomcock for the announcement. B with a $2 super chat says, cheers to everyone in the chat and hail Doomcock. Hail to you, B. Thank you for being here. B, to be or not to be? To be. Thank you, B. Woke Troll with a $2 super chat says, hail hashtag justice for Anas. Hashtag justice for Anas. A woke troll is saying justice for Anas. That's amazing. Wow. Wow, the woke troll is kind of opening his mind and opening his heart. Hail woke troll. Damn, I'm pretty impressed. Jake D with a $5 super chat says, hail Doomrotic in the chat.
Hail.
Always a great day when I can get together to punish those that destroy our cultural mythos. Hashtag justice for Anas. Damn right. Justice for Anas. We've got a whole bunch more super chats, but why don't we go ahead and talk about Freddie Prinze Jr. Let's talk about Freddie Prinze Jr. You guys, we're gonna basically adjourn for Joker. Joker for Batwamen.
We wanted to think of something better. It's hard to believe that the same company produced the same.
I know it's painful. Actually, you know what, Gary? Maybe at 10, we should adjourn, and you go watch the show. But I need to. Never mind. I'm trying to think.
If you want to do super chats while I watch the show, or do you want me to stay?
Yeah, no. I want you to watch the show because we really need to do it. I might stick a little longer to do some more super chats.
Yeah,
and then we will end the Inquisition, and then we will come right back with another. We'll do 30 minutes review of Batwamen episode 2. Sound good?
That sounds awesome.
All right. Well, let's talk about Freddie Prinze then.
Yes. Dog. Dude, bro. Dog. Dude.
What a douche.
Not a very eloquent argument.
No.
It was that's SoCal-ese, by the way. Pretty much everybody who lives west of Interstate 5 talks like that, or like most of the guys do. He's around my age, and this is after he had an excellent take on Miss Monopoly. So I thought that was part of and it still is. It started part of the David Chappelle effect, but I think Star Wars is probably his only real legit paycheck. He has a YouTube channel and a podcast. They're getting no traction. And by the way, you're going to start seeing a lot more movie stars and stuff coming on YouTube, and you're going to see them getting favorability too. So please subscribe and hit that bell for Doomcock and myself, for the independent creators out there who are attached to nothing and need to apologize to no one and owe nobody anything except for you guys, the fans. We owe you everything. And that's what Freddie Prinze Jr. needs to remember. That, listen, I can even understand it. In his mind, he was just insulting the worst of the worst of the worst, but he didn't really specify that. And we're talking about people who come and call people names, horrible remarks, and plus this is the internet. Most of the people saying that stuff are doing it for the lulz. They're not really serious about that stuff. So, but what he does unintentionally is he insults a massive swath of the fan base. And then I saw a couple, well, we'll just say there's people who have chimed in agreement. It's the usual suspects. It's the colliders in this world. And I want you to pay attention. And I'm not trying to flex here. I'm not. Jeremy just like blew past John Campea, which is impressive as hell, although he'll never bring it up except for once every 5 minutes. And just kidding, Jeremy. And he should. That's a major accomplishment. And it's we're seeing the usual suspects coming in support, and it was just an attack on the fandom menace. And if Freddie, we here in the fandom menace, I would have a conversation with him. I would try to have and maybe like, let's have a little conversation about the demarcation line between George Lucas Star Wars, which he was talking about, and Disney Star Wars. And he works for Disney Star Wars now. For one, he got some of the stuff wrong from his own show, but when you say Star Wars for effing kids in your argument, that's for one, that's an erroneous statement. Star Wars is for everybody, kids and adult. And as far as us outgrowing the franchise, there's a lot of people who have left it. For those of us who are still here, we haven't outgrown the franchise. For one, you're disrespecting younger people by, you got to dumb shit down for younger people. That's an insult right there. And that's what Star Wars is, by the way. This is a very dumbed down, a horrible facsimile of what George Lucas produced, even compared to the prequels. And now more and more people are coming out on you're seeing the Access media calling what was once a small group of incel Russian bots a divided fan base now. So the realization is kicking in. We have Empty Galaxy's Edge. We have evidence every day, Doomcock. But him coming out and saying F you if you don't agree with me, and which he has every right to say. He does. And then, saying it's for effing kids. Well, how many kids are spending, $500 on a 1/6 scale Darth Vader from Hot Toys?
Right. You don't get to shatter records and become the #1 grossing movie of all time just as a kiddie movie. That's just a lie. At the time, Star Wars became the #1 grossing film of its time. So that's bullshit. It appealed to everyone. It was not just kids. Freddie Prinze. He's an idiot. Okay. That he makes this case, Gary. I mean, he rambles on about you're just mad because, the franchise moved on and you've gotten old. I forget, like, specifically.
Because Han Solo gave the Millennial Falcon to a girl. We're mad over that.
Which does absolutely offend and outrage me. Not because she's a girl, but because she's not fucking Chewbacca, his living partner, not his pet, not his possession, not his slave, not his servant, his fucking partner. So Chewie was invested in the Millennium Falcon. If Han Solo died, it should have been Chewie's fucking ship. Period. That's it. It wasn't really Han Solo's to just give away. I mean, Chewbacca was his fucking partner. Come on. Why the fuck would Han Solo give it to this chick? Seriously.
But he's an accessory.
Yeah. And then feed Chewbacca, will you? He's a good boy. I'm very offended that Chewbacca's still attached to the Falcon like he came in with the deal. Like he's her goddamn pet. I mean, that's the unspoken assumption there, isn't it?
Yes.
It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
It makes me sick. What an idiot. And then here's the crux of his goddamn argument. The crux of his argument is that there's balance in the Force and that it naturally balances out. And if that's why, Palpatine didn't kill Yoda or something, because then he knew that the Force would kill him because of balance. I mean, he rambled on about this shit. It's absolutely moronic. It's a moronic misunderstanding of what George Lucas said, because what was the big message out of the prequel trilogy? What were the Jedi all saying about Anakin? Do you believe that he is the prophesied one who will bring balance to the Force? Well, if if he is like prophecy to bring balance for the Force, that means that the Force does not automatically balance, doesn't it, Freddie Prinze Jr., you fucking idiot? You pretend like you know Star Wars just because you do a voice on Rebels. You don't know shit. You're misquoting George Lucas. The whole point of Anakin was that he was prophecy to bring balance to the Force. If the Force is a self-balancing system, then it doesn't need anyone to bring balance to the Force, does it, you dumb shit? Did you even watch the prequels?
You could just kill. I'm tired of this Padawan. I'm gonna kill him, and the Force will balance it out later. It's okay. It's just gonna be fine. Balance. It's stupid.
Idiotic, dude. Idiotic.
There's no free will. The Force just takes care of everything.
Yes. Right. Good. Freddie. You dumb shit.
Freddie got fingered. So Freddie, you're a voice actor, brah. Hey, brah, do dog brah. So you walk in and do what? A week's worth of, like 2 hour, 3 hour days with a lunch break. That's how much voice acting goes into a season. I think it's like a week's worth of work, maybe a week and a half. Don't the Simpsons actors, they come in for a couple weeks and do a couple seasons or something.
Sure. Yeah, it's easy.
He gets a couple $100,000 for it. And Filoni probably, had a couple lunches with him. I'm sure he learned everything about the Force. I'm sure he knows more than, all of the EU nerds out there who've been studying this stuff for decades, made a lifestyle out of it. Yeah. I think they might have something. He even mentions that the video games have got everything screwed up. The ones that Lucas signed off on, those, because Lucas signed off on everything prior to Disney. So, I don't get it. I don't. I know that all that shit doesn't count anymore. Yeah, Freddie Prinze, I don't think he knows more than most on the Force. I would argue that point.
No, he does fucking well not. And, and the thing about it is it's an insult to the entire mythology. It's an insult to the Jedi Knights. It's an insult to the Sith. How can there be balance in the Force if there's only 2 Sith and thousands of Jedi Knights? It's just
right.
It's just stupid. It's just fucking stupid. This clown doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And if there was an issue of the Force will balance, then Yoda and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, all of them would have been Zen masters, offering no resistance whatsoever to the Sith, because why bother? If the Sith go ahead and slaughter them, there will be balance. The Force will automatically rebalance. They would become Zen monks, not acting in action acting. Mm-hmm. And there would be no lightsaber duels or nothing else. It is a struggle. It is a struggle. And God, it's how anybody could say that, make that claim. It's just beyond me. It's just beyond me.
He's with the funniest part of that. If I don't know if any of you caught it, went right when he says Star Wars is for effing kids, it cuts to one of the other podcast dorks, and he goes, "Yeah," and like right in the background is a bunch of action figures and stuff, and I'm like. The optics of that was beautiful. I thought it was funny as hell. Listen, the great for that. I don't even know who the podcast was, and I can't say, they were just agreeing with Freddie Prinze Jr. because that was their job or whatever. But dude, that's like Freddie Prinze Jr. is like a Silver Lake douchey LA guy. If you don't know what Silver Lake is, like where the douchiest of douchiest hipsters hang out. That's hipster central. If you drop a bomb on Silver Lake, you pretty much take care of most of the hipsters in California. And there's even like that's what he's all about. He's just a freaking LA dude, bro.
He is. He's a dude, bra.
But he wants to like throw his nerd knowledge at us. Oh, bless us with your nerd knowledge. Freddie Prinze Jr. Man, the apple fell so far.
You can tell that douchebag was just really feeling his own importance there. Like, oh, I'm going to go on a rant here and maybe drum up interest in my Twitter or my YouTube channel, whatever the fuck it is that he's going to do. He was just lashing out. He wasn't thinking. It was not a whole lot of cognition going on in there, or reflection, or intellectual acumen. It was just pathetic.
If he was
Really.
smart, he would have put it on his YouTube channel. That's
Right.
getting no traction at all right now, that he won't reveal the sub number. It was revealed earlier. I remember because I went there. I went there to somebody emailed me one of his podcasts and said, "Hey, he's got a pretty good take on Miss Monopoly," and he did. He had a really solid take on Miss Monopoly. So yeah, I went there and watched part of the podcast and could stump, but it was a lot of dudes. And like, if I'm saying that, because I drop dude all the time, because I'm from SoCal.
Sure.
But it was a lot. It was a lot. It was, it was a hella lot. Sorry, that's a little Bay Area jargon there. Hella.
I know. I've heard it before. Yeah. So Freddie Prinze Jr., you're a clown. And I dare you to come on here and fucking debate me on this shit. I dare you.
I would charity. We could start a charity fund for this. Freddie Prinze Jr. debating Doomcock on the Force. I'd pay good money to see that.
Fucking asshole. I wouldn't be nice to him. I'm sorry. I only respect intellectual, bring some intellect to the thing. It's just pathetic. I would love him to answer that question.
No, he's taking shots at Jeremy on Twitter. He's taking shots at the Phantom Menace. We don't need to be civil. Not at all. Not when we get this crap. We're tired of it. That's why we're here. We're done with it. Now, we don't want to get personal, but expecting us to be all lovey-dovey with these people when they've painted us with a broad brush. Listen, again, I don't mean to harp on this, but it's a big deal when I get to meet you guys and gals out there in the Phantom Menace. It means a lot to me. It means the world to me. And I love to see your faces and see who you are. And it never ceases to blow me away because I'm like, how can this guy be listening to me? I don't understand it, because this guy's smart and this gal's smart. I met Lori Roberts. Meeting Lori Roberts was great. And when I see you all, I'm like, wow, look at all these incels that don't look like incels and look like they're all married.
These racists that don't look like racists.
Yeah, all these Asian racists and it's like, what the hell? Wow. There was all makes and sizes, and it was beautiful. And I can't wait for you to meet some of them, man. They all want to meet you. Every single person asks me about you, so you're on the mind.
It's coming. This next year. I'm going to start hitting some. I just need a little help with the badge. Like I said, I don't want to turn over my ID to these people.
Got you.
Other than that, shit.
I think you're in, dude. You're in. You know what? If you want to come to San Diego, we'll get that all hooked up.
Sweet. Okay. Thank you, brother. Mark C with a $10 super chat. Hail Mark. He says, to the media who blast the Joker movie, hoping we don't see that our country doesn't have a gun problem, but a mental health crisis. Judgment is guilty. The punishment dragged by horse across shells. I like that. Drag him by the heel across a shelly beach with the horse.
Ooh,
that would hurt, wouldn't it?
That would hurt a lot.
Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay, motherfuckers. Yeah. Mark C, good point.
What's up, Mark C?
Yeah, we do. We have a mental health crisis. At least in the movie we did, for sure. I mean,
they're objectifying it. That's the okay. So I know we were just talking about Freddie Prinze, but the critics of the Joker are saying the same. So one of the arguments was that Zazie Beetz' Dumond character, I kept calling her Drummond, but Dumond character wasn't three-dimensional, which is a disingenuous statement in the context of the film. I thought that character was extremely three-dimensional for the limited amount of screen time that she was on, considering the context of her character. I thought it was really well done. I like Zazie Beetz. I thought she was great in Deadpool 2 as she won me over as Domino. And I thought she did a good job in this. I mean, she wasn't in it that much. She's just not. And the context of her character is different. They were trying to compare her to Sybil Shepherd's character in Taxi Driver. So that was, again, disingenuous. But in their argument against her being three-dimensional, now follow me on this one, they said that she was objectified and she was just used as a tool to get the character to point B. You know, basically the thing, I can't get into details because I don't want to spoil, but basically she was just a character to further the interests of our main character. Yes, that's writing. You sometimes have characters that they are not fully realized because they're there to show something in our main character. It's called writing and storytelling, but you can't do that nowadays because every time you put a woman of color or somebody in something, they're being objectified in some way to the access media. So that really hampers any writers, any creatives to write freely. You know, that I have great sympathy for the writers in Hollywood out there who genuinely want to write something because their hands are tied now.
Yeah.
They can't do jack shit because every time they write something, they're going to have, if you watch the South Park, you got China, you've got editors, you've got people at the HR, you've got some political interest looking over your shoulder going, nope, you're putting that in a bad light. You need to, Hollywood, you need to shut all that shit out and just write whatever the hell you want to write. And you know what? Yeah, you're going to get clapped back. Guess what? You'll survive it. Don't fear it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see she was objectified at all.
No.
It was ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And probably the reason why she wasn't like fleshed out as a fully three-dimensional character is because Arthur only knew her in his imagination.
Yeah. And listen,
idiots.
I think they actually held back. It was tastefully done. It didn't derail the story. I thought no movie is perfect, but I had a perfect time at that film. I thoroughly enjoyed it twice. But I think, honestly, they could have gone a little more hardcore and they didn't, but it didn't hurt the story at all. And I was fully expecting that and it didn't happen, and that's fine. Again, didn't derail the story, but the guy's argument, just within the same sentence, he goes, she's not three-dimensional, she's objectified. I'm like, what do you want? Yes, people get objectified in films. It's part of the storytelling. Everybody does. And this critic was saying that they were objectifying mental illness, just picking on mentally ill people. It's like, you got to be able to tell a story, and you're going to,
so phony.
They are. It's completely phony, and it was, again, disingenuous. They just didn't like the movie because it didn't have anything that they can promote their narrative. And maybe I think their expectations were subverted. I think they were fully expecting the woker. That's what I thought initially when the movie was announced, and I think they were expecting that. And it was really interesting to see a bunch of critics like it who weren't in the States. And then when it gets around to the States, then miraculously this incel thing comes out, and I'm still trying to figure it out because some of the people pushing that, Dave Cullen rightfully pointed out in his video, are from companies owned by Warner Brothers. So, I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's madness. That maybe is the message of the Joker. Who can say,
Yep. You know what? It does. It kind of plays out great. And that's part of the fun.
Yes, absolutely. And I thank Mark C for that comment. Good comment, brother. Triggered a good rant here from Gary. Excellent. Good job, dude. Michael Andreotti with a $4.99 super chat. Hail Michael, who says, good evening, my lords. Have you seen Freddie Prinze Jr.'s rant on Star Wars fans? It was hysterically bad. Yes, Michael. Yes, we have. That's what we've been talking about, brother. Thank you for the super chat. And I hope you enjoyed our take on it because it's fucking outrageous. What a scumbag.
I mean, if it was a good argument, like if it was a well thought out argument, I'd respect it. But it wasn't, and it just really exposed the people who come out and said that was an epic rant or whatever. And again, that's what Collider said on their tweet. I'm like, really? That was an epic rant? It was an F-bomb laced. I can do that in my sleep. There
was no content. There was no meat to it.
No,
He
none
was just
at all.
basically insulting us and citing George Lucas as an authority, while ignoring completely the larger context of his prequel trilogy, where he talks about, restoring balance of the Force. Well, if the Force establishes itself, if it's self-correcting for balance, it doesn't need that. So right there, George Lucas has said, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yep.
Idiot. Speaking of idiots, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, not him personally, but of course the Roundhead he is referring to, with a $5 super chat. Hail, Sir Ruin of House Roundhead, who says, have you two heard of the TV show called His Dark Materials? It is a fantasy show coming out soon on HBO. Check out the trailers. I have not. I think I've heard the name, but I don't know what it's about. Have you heard anything about
It's
His
the
Dark Materials?
Golden Compass stuff. Yeah. I've heard of it. And if it's HBO, it's probably going to be His Woke Materials. That's just my guess.
We'll see.
I'll check out the trailers though and see. But I thought,
speaking about woke misery, dude, next week, Wokeman.
The Wokeman arrives next week.
Ugh, God.
I'm calling it now. There's no way in God's green earth that this will be good.
No way. No fucking way. And we will be, I don't know when it comes on. I mean, we'll have to coordinate the Inquisition, but
it comes on at 9 p.m. Pacific time, but I get it at 6. So we can do the Inquisition at 7.
Awesome.
So we can push it back just 1 hour, and that's just like Game of Thrones, folks. So
yeah, well, because we've got to talk about we're going to get every episode of Wokeman, so don't worry about that. And also Batwamen. Will even if only one of us watches Batwamen, we'll have a review on here as well.
Yeah, what we'll do is we're probably going to treat it. The Inquisition came out of Game of Thrones reviews, and when a major event show was on Sunday night, that's what it's going to go back to being a review of that show. And then if we want to review something else, we'll do a separate program. But yeah,
I think that's smart. Nicholas Horton with a £5 super chat. Hail to thee, Nicholas Horton. He says, hail DC and Gary. No British TV broadcaster has picked up the rights for Batwamen for the UK audiences.
Oh, really?
I can probably guess why. Nicholas Horton. Wow. Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
It's not on Netflix or do they normally put it on like ITV?
Hulu usually picks up on. Now I don't know about British TV. Yeah, I don't know if it usually, simulcasts on somebody else. I guess they just said, you know what? No, thank you. We'll pass on this one. Even they didn't want it.
No. BBC One, BBC Two. Sorry, Austin Powers. They don't want it. That's wow. And these are the people who made Doctor Who.
Yeah. I've got it's bad. I've actually been contacted about some Doctor Who stuff, and holy shit, it's bad, dude. It's bad. We'll talk about it later at some point.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicholas Horton. Armchair Warlord with a $2 super chat. Thank you, my friend. He says, hail Doomcock and Gary. I love Joker. That's real filmmaking. Damn right, Armchair Warlord. I'm glad you did. See, I haven't only had maybe one or two people, normal people, that have come to me and said, I just didn't really care much for Joker. Well, that was a waste of money. In general, people are intrigued and elated. Even when they don't know what they're seeing, they still recognize that this is something kind of special,
Yeah. Mrs. Nerdrotic loved it. And I normally, it's hard to say, that's not the kind of movie. It's a dark movie. So for it to be this popular, immensely popular, forget what the critics are. I mean, this is a phenomenon. This is the biggest movie of the year. In the same year that Endgame came out, by the way. Yeah, DC outdid Marvel, like by a long shot on this one, because it's rated R and it's going to make $1 billion. It's going to make $1 billion. So take that, Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain fucking Marvel. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Thank you, Armchair Warlord. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Mr. Gently Benevolent with a $2 Australian super chat says, hail Gary, hail Doomcock. Let's give him a hail back. Hail, Mr. Gently Benevolent.
Hail, Mr. Gently Benevolent.
What a great, he looks suave. He looks suave.
Hey,
Not the
Jones.
kind of bloke that a drop bear would ever drop down on. Not dare to drop on a bloke like Mr. Gently Benevolent. Cheers, brother. Thank you for being here. Agent Pepsi 1 with a very sweet message and a $5 super chat. Thank you, my dear Agent Pepsi 1, who says, Lord Doomcock, Chancellor of Texas, ruler of the world, dominator of the universe, you are beloved by your Doom minions. We love you, my liege, and a little heart. Golly, making my heart go pity pat.
That's horrible.
I'm glad I know she's married. I will just not take it the wrong way. But even so, from such a dazzling beauty, it can't help but make my heart go pity pat. What can I say?
Yep.
Jeez. Sober up, Doomcock. Sober up. Kind of slap myself a little bit. All right, moving on.
Don't
Thank
you have
you,
like
Agent
an
Pepsi
instant
1.
sober mechanism in your suit?
Yes, I have like a
button.
cold.
It's like
I have like
a Good Omens.
instant, yes, like a cold shower.
Yeah.
I just hit the button. It goes, and I'm like, ah, and it kills any illusions. My best to your husband, Agent Pepsi 1, and I thank you so much for your very, very sweet message. What a lucky man he is. God bless you both. Nicholas Horton with a £5 super chat. Hail, Nicholas Horton, who says, I watched the porno Captain Marvel. Kenzie is much better than Brie. She has facial expressions, and they make a crack about Brie in one scene.
That's awesome. We love Kenzie and Axel Braun. Hail to them both.
Oh, God, I got to see this movie. I got to find it. I don't know where to buy porno.
Wicked.com.
Wicked.com?
Wicked.com. Yep.
WICKED?
Yep.
All right. I will check that out. Thank you, Nicholas Horton. Well, I got to see this thing. I can't wait. I may have to even review it, even though it'll hurt me on the algorithm. Wayward Astronaut with a $10 super chat. Hail, Wayward One, who says, a horrifying thought occurred to me while watching EFAP riff on the Batwamen pilot. Almost all of the trailers were focused on the pilot. How lame is the rest of the show if that's what they want to advertise? Stay tuned, Wayward Astronaut. We will be revealing how lame the second episode is here in about an hour. So
my God. EFAP's when she becomes I don't know if you watched the EFAP little review of the pilot, but when she becomes Batwoman and flies off the building, they lose their mind. It's so funny. They go, what the hell? Because the effects are truly horrid in that scene, and just the reaction was brilliant. It was gold.
The effects on that show. We'll talk about this last episode. It's even worse if that's possible. I thought
it might be, because that was just a pilot, so they had to hold back, and we'll see.
It's fucking awful. Thank you, Wayward Astronaut. Yeah, just wait and see. Watch this space. Our review is coming. Bionic Belly Button with a $2 super chat. Hail, Bionic Belly Button. He says, I want the harshest punishment for STD shart treks. I think we gave the harshest punishment, Bionic Belly Button. The rack, the wheel, cat of nine tails, you strapped it in and showed it itself. The only thing we didn't do is set fire to it, which I guess that's really what we should have done.
I sentence short treks additionally to protective custody in your garden variety California prison, and they have to wear the protective custody jumpsuit, and then put them into general population.
We sentence STD shart treks to Gen Pop.
Yep.
I love that. I love that. Orange is the new red by the time they get done with it.
We arm them with spork shivs. There you go.
I love it. I love it. That's so let it be written, so let it be done.
Yes.
Excellent. Psycho Dwarf 9 with $2 super chats. Thank you, Psycho Dwarf 9, who says, I have vain hope Picard won't blow chunks. That hope is entirely in vain, Psycho Dwarf 9. It's gonna blow chunks. And also he says, how about a Kurtzman heavy bag? Like a punching bag that you could train on and kick and punch Kurtzman. Well, we'd have to pay Kurtzman royalties for that. So I think just draw a block with a 2 dots for eyes and a line for a mouth and call that Kurtzman. I mean, it's pretty much he's a blockhead. You can get by without royalties on that, on any heavy bag that you might come across, but thank you. Those are good ideas. Jaybird Third with a $5 super chat. Hail Jaybird Third says, I'm a teacher and I see no discussion of Star Wars or Star Trek among my students. All they seem to care about is Marvel and anime. Yep. That jibes with other reports that I've had from the field that teachers are reporting that kids are just not really into Star Wars or Star Trek anymore. Marvel has supplanted them all. So have you heard anything? I mean, your kids, I mean, what do they, well, they're atypical
about Star Trek. Kids don't care about I got one kid who's like would be in the perfect age range. Doesn't care that they don't care that much about, if they care about Star Wars, their parents are generally into it. But if it's most kids' parents aren't in the Star Wars, so you need that next generation to find it themselves, and they're not doing it. And Star Trek, long gone. That ship has sailed, and it sailed out of the Gray Havens, and it made it, and it's just never coming back. Man.
No, I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. And that's sad news. Good news is we got 1,000 likes, Gary.
Hey ho.
Yeah, and we have 1,747 people watching right now.
Damn, that's awesome.
I know, man. We're the Inquisition. It's the must see destination on Sunday nights. I'm just telling you. Thank you, Jaybird Third, for reinforcing that perception from the field. A teacher who is absolutely seeing no discussion of Star Wars or Star Trek on the playgrounds, that should give Iger and Kurtzman and CBS nightmares, because they have done something that I wouldn't have thought could be done. They have turned Star Wars and Star Trek into nothing.
Hey, can I respond to a chat in here?
Go ahead, please.
My eye. This is from Daniel Label Perez. Thank you for pointing this out. Sorry if I screwed up your name. Gary Nerdrotic. Did you see Jeremy from the Quartering just tweeted about a NOS CBS lawsuit? He was wondering if any channels were covering it. Yes. Listen, he's probably not aware of me, but thanks for bringing that up. I'll be sure to chirp at him and retweet that. And yeah, if he could tweet it out. Listen, a lot of people have retweeted my video. It didn't. Again, Star Trek stuff is not getting a lot of traction on YouTube, but it's doing fine. And I want to thank, there's a bunch of YouTubers who are in and out of the Fandom Menace who retweeted that as well. That went across party lines, we'll just say. And I want to express my deep gratitude for that, for putting out olive branches and retweeting that. That was impressive to see. And I'm thankful for that. So thanks, Jeremy, from the Quartering. Thank you for bringing awareness to this with your giant platform and and I subscribed to your channel, dude. So
me too.
Yeah. And of course, Doomcock, thank you for all the work you've done. Midnight's Edge, thank you for all the work. Nick Ricada has talked about it in the past. Mecha Random has talked about this. John F. Trent posted an article today in Bounding into Comics. And John, love you, man. John F. Trent is a good dude, by the way. Good guy. I spent some time with him. Can't wait for you to meet him. Definitely followed, Bounding into Comics. We love Bounding into Comics. So thank you again, everybody who has supported.
Absolutely.
I can't thank you guys enough. I can't.
Absolutely. Dilbertson had a little rain for our parade here. He says, an awful proposition. A significant amount of the Joker's box office takings will soon be in the hands of Jar Jar Abrams.
God,
if everything goes ahead. So much for, it's like Warner Brothers finally emerges into the sunlight and sees that, oh my God, we can make films. We can make art again. We can trust the creator. And then this tentacle comes out from the shadows and pulls them back into the cave. Jar Jar Abrams.
In a weird way, this is going to be, I mean, aside from Star Wars, this is going to be the thing that exposes J.J. Abrams to the normies. Stuff that you have been saying, that I have been saying for a long, since we started our channels. Jar Jar Abrams a fraud. And this again will expose it, because the studio will force him to make movies like The Joker, because if dude, this thing is going to be one of the most profitable films of all time. JJ doesn't do things cheap. He does not do things cheap. It's going to go against every single thing. So I don't know what his contract's about. I know it's exclusive and stuff, and I know he wants to put his hands on Superman and the Green Lantern. But Joker is going to perform better than anything he did, and it's going to cost a lot less. And it's nice to know that an artist with integrity named Todd Phillips is going to probably have more power than JJ. They're going to. Todd Phillips said this is it. There is no more Joker movies, and he said someday he'll tell us what was in his mind when he created this, but he's not going to tell us now. Which I love. I never thought he'd tell us. I thought he'd go to his deathbed with it, but he said, no, I'm going to tell you someday. He said he's having a lot of fun watching people theorize and stuff. And I thought about that today, that JJ is in charge of DC after DC. It's DC.
Just going to really just kill that progress.
God, isn't this DC? Isn't this playing? Isn't it weird? You have great knowledge of comics as well. Isn't it weird how DC and Marvel are playing out in film like they played out in comics? It's bizarre. Like DC can tell the out of canon stories better than anybody, but Marvel tells they just get more traction with the in canon stories, and watching it play out in film is fascinating. Almost exact, just much faster. It's playing out much faster. And but DC was always about taking 2 steps forward and 5 steps back. Always. They do it to this day. So, and Warner Brothers probably doing the same.
Yeah. That's is ironic. Oh my, what the fuck? Nitrium was saying Q&A is an 8.0 out of 10 on IMDb. Trouble with Edward is an 8.7 out of 10. Well, that's probably rigged then. I mean, I can't imagine that anyone would watch that crap and think it was good. That's astonishing.
Based on what, 2 reviews or something? I mean,
yeah, probably. So.
Yeah,
probably so.
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, right. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I can't believe that.
You know what? Access Media, please keep being the way you are. Just thank you. I want to, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Because I would not have a channel. Doomcock, well, you probably have a channel still, but I would not have a channel if you guys, I mean, you suck. You just suck, and you continue to suck. And the template is out there for you guys not to suck, and you still suck. So thanks. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Keep hurting people seeking truth to our channels. Thank you, mainstream media, for being such fakes that even the normies are starting to see it. That's absolutely fantastic.
Hail.
Yeah, absolutely. Geeky Candy with a $5 super chat says, hail to my pop culture muses. Yeah, wow. You're a muse, Gary.
Is that what I am?
Well, yeah, apparently so. She says, keep doing the good overlord's work. Thank you, Geeky Candy.
We will try.
We will absolutely try. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate that. Great Legionnaire Geeky Candy is. Violent Science with a $5 super chat. Hail Violent Science says, new Star Wars novel, Force Collector, pissed on Han Solo even more. Says he sold Luke's Yavin medal for a drink to Maz. Can you imagine? So are these Star Wars novels supposed to be canon?
The new ones, yes, they are. And that's part of the whole J.J. Abrams pyramid scheme of entertainment is we do as little as possible in the actual film that I'm working on. I'm speaking as J.J. Abrams. So I can come out unscathed, because the least amount of storytelling he puts in, he can't be accountable for anything. So he can walk away looking great, and then he leaves it to the novels and the comics to fill in the details. And it's part of, just saturating the market and trying to get the consumer to consume as much as possible instead of trying to make art, which is what you're trying to do, and putting the cart before putting the horse before the art, whatever. And instead, because if you make something good, then people want to buy more stuff. But he just knows he can't make something good, so he's like, I'll keep it nebulous and I won't answer any we'll just do the mystery box thing, and then we'll have some other guy that I hire answer it in a comic somewhere that you have to buy. And that's great because the books don't sell for shit. The comics don't sell for shit. So these answers, for example, the prequel comic to the 2009 Star Trek, which had a really important information in it that they keep drawing back to, it sold all of 20,000 copies. 20,000 people.
Good God. Yeah. So basically they have cheapened Han and Luke now in this novel, as if it wasn't what they did in the movies wasn't bad enough. They've got Han Solo pawning Luke's Yavin medal for a drink to Maz. That's just so fucking sweet.
Oh, if that's true, I might actually have an emotion again for Star Wars. That kind of makes my stomach hurt a little bit.
That is just the cheapest.
Is that why the medal's in the trailer?
I guess so.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Dude.
Fuck you bastards. You scumbag motherfucking scum.
You're going to double the size of the Phantom Menace in one scene.
Yep. I can't wait. Bring it on, motherfuckers. Bring it on. We'll be there. We'll be there. We'll be waiting.
I'm sorry.
Damn it.
Mrs. Nerdrotic is saying goodnight. Good night. She's ducking out.
I see.
Good night, honey.
Well, do you need to go see Batwamen?
I think I need to go see Batwomen.
Go ahead and see Batwamen. I will carry on here for maybe another 30 minutes. Then I will end this. Any super chats I don't get to, I will do a super chat square up and post. But then come right back, and we are going to continue on review with our review of Batwomen. Sound good?
Sounds good. And if if our schedules can connect, if you want me to join on the square up, I'll be there.
Oh, that would be awesome, dude. Yeah. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, let's do that. That'd be that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
No problem, dude. I love live streaming with Doomcock. It's the best, man.
It is awesome.
I've been trying to put off going to Batwoman. Are you guys catching that? No. Thanks, man. As always, the Doom chat, Chris Persia, Bionic Belly Button. Was Mary here today? Did we miss?
I don't think Mary was here. Maybe she didn't know it was on my channel.
Shouting out to Mary. Yeah.
Shout out to Mary. Absolutely.
And, your fantastic mods, your brilliant chat. Honestly, right, one of the most intelligent chats on YouTube by far. Thank you. I'm humbled. Thank you for supporting the GoFundMe for Justice for Anas. So we're almost there. I figure we might hit the goal tomorrow, and I'll see you for Batwomen.
All right. We will be back. We'll just call it an hour.
Yep. Call it an hour. I'll start right away.
Awesome. See you guys. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Let us go on, folks. Let us go on. We leave no super chat behind here. And Gary has said he will join in on a super chat square up. But let's see how far we can get. I bet you we can get pretty far here. Illuminati with a $51.50 super chat. Hail, Illuminati, who says, hail to the Inquisition. As a mycologist, wink, wink, I've heard of spores surviving in space, but not mycelium in space. Growth of a mycelial network needs conditions similar to animals to survive, and UV radiation damages it at a DNA level. Explain. Well, you're absolutely 110% correct, Illuminati. Of course they do not have a goddamn mycelial network in space. That's stupid. It is fucking stupid. And let me look. Google mycelial network sometime, and you will see that they will show a cross section of soil, and they will show all these tendrils going through the soil. That is a mycelial network. If there was a mycelial network in space, it would be like connecting everything. then basically it would be like a solid chunk of fucking mushroom or soy, because that's what it is in the soil. They would have roots. It's not some mystical, sparkly pixie dust thing that you can ride this fabulous, magical highway in fucking space to anywhere you want instantaneously. If you were flying through it, you would be tearing it up because it's roots, for fuck's sake. Idiotic. So yes, and UV radiation and the temperature differentials, etc., and so on, it would just not work. There are mycelial networks throughout the earth. Can we instantaneously ride them from New York to Paris? No. Idiots. Good point, Illuminati. Even if you are a mycologist or a pretend mycologist or even an STD mycologist, by God, you understand that. Thank you, my friend. I've been saying this forever. It's goddamn ridiculous. How would they even be in space? How would they spread in space? It's just the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Poor stamens. Exactly. Oh, God, it makes my stomach hurt. Illuminati says, I like science. Skok. Yeah, Skok. I like that. Yes, exactly. Oh, God, it makes my stomach hurt. My muscles are tense around my stomach thinking about this. It's thank you for saying that. Jesus Christ. Darth Morshoe with a $20 super chat. Oh, and by the way, very, very generous super chat, Illuminati. Thank you very much for that. Darth Morshoe with a $20 super chat. Hail, Darth Morshoe, says Tribble cereal. Has PETA reared its head yet? Also, good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Darth Morshoe. No, well, no actual animals were harmed, but of course, those are not, I mean, I doubt they're dead tribbles because they're multiplying. That was part of the gag, in case you didn't see it, is the box she keeps pouring, and it's a bottomless box of tribbles because they're multiplying in it. So that means they're real. So you're eating whole, real, alive, furry animals, fur and excrement and organs and eyes and teeth and all. Oh, and human DNA as a lovely nutritional supplement. I wonder if it's on the goddamn label of this non-capitalist society that's pushing Tribble cereal. It is just the biggest insult to fans out of anything, simply because they literally just do not give a shit anymore. Fuck them. Yeah. If PETA would get on their ass, God bless PETA. But of course, no actual animals were harmed except the fans. The production hurt the fans. We are animals. Therefore, PETA, have mercy on us. Have mercy on us. Thank you, Darth Morshoe. Judah Khan. Let me rock you. Let me rock it, Judah Khan. Let me rock you. That's all I want to do, Judah Khan. Let me rock you, Judah Khan. Let me rock you because I feel for you. With a $5 super chat, hail Judah Khan, who says, hail Lord Doomcock. Loved your commentary today on EFAP. Hail Nerdrotic. Missed you on EFAP. This super chat is for you at Justice for Anas. Thank you, Judah Khan. I'm glad you enjoyed my appearance on EFAP. I enjoyed it very much. It was just a lovely, focused, very intellectual, intelligent discussion about Joker and analyzing some of the, hack critical, criticisms of the Joker, dissecting them and correcting them. I thought it was a wonderful time. I'm looking forward to my Discord with my Xanadu Mirrors, my Legionnaires, villains, vagabonds, and rogues at patreon.com/Doomcock and subscribestar.com/Doomcock as well. This Thursday coming up, we're going to be talking about Joker. And I think I'm looking forward to y'all's insights and opinions on that as well. Thank you, Judah Khan. Classic Comics with a $10 super chat. Hello, Classic Comics. By the way, yesterday, I saw a Phantom of the Paradise action figure. Thought about you, Classic Comics. No shit. It's true story. Anyway, thank you for the $10, my friend. And he says the STD writers are trolling us at this point, right? They can't be this stupid, can they? Until the people at the top, Klutzman, etc., this thing can't be saved. We have to burn the village down to save it. Yes. We have to purge the village of its STD idiots claiming to be writers to somehow have any chance to save Star Trek. I am not optimistic at all. I think it's dead, Jim. I don't think it's going to get any better. And at this point, honestly, I'm good with it going away. I'm good with it never getting another new episode made. Fuck that. If this is what they're offering us, I'd rather just have my memories of my real Star Trek. Thank you very much. Yeah, burning down the village to save it. That's what Doomcock is doing. Basically attacking Star Trek with everything I have in order to basically save it, to get these malign influences out of the goddamn thing so that we can get some good Star Trek again. But I don't know it's ever going to happen. And I think that they are absolutely, burning the bridge and salting the earth behind them as they head to the cliff. They know that their time is very limited. Their end is nigh, as it said, and it ain't coming back again no more. Thank you, Classic Comics. I appreciate you, sir. Vexkun with a $2 super chat. Hail Vexkun, who says, poor Alita for being in such a bad ST short. Yeah, it broke my heart, folks. Alita Battle Angel herself was play the captain in the Trouble with Edward, the Tribble short. Yeah, she played. Her role was fine. I mean, her acting was fine. It's not her fault. Although I wish to God she had passed it up. I mean, but Alita got to eat, right? Alita got to eat. I don't pass judgment on her, but oh Jesus! Let me tell you something. I didn't actually even recognize her, and I'm really good with faces, but I did not spot her in that role. I'm glad I didn't. It would have made it even worse. Being told retroactively, it hurts less than actually having to watch Alita be in this horrible, horrible, horrible Shart Trek. God, it's bad. Psychodwarf 9 with a $5 super chat. Hail, Legionnaire Psychodwarf 9, who says, military call it road. Retired on active duty. ROAD. Thank you for sharing that nomenclature, Psychodwarf 9. Yes, Psychodwarf 9 is working on a base and doing all sorts of good stuff, doing catering and stuff. Talk about valor under fire. Psychodwarf 9 faces that kind of fire every day on his job. And yeah, boy, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Thank you, Psychodwarf 9. You, sir, are a man and a mensch. A mensch and a man. A mensch and a man. Sam Whiskey with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Sam. He says, hail DC and Gary. I bring you news from the rodent empire. Palpatine survived his fall because he landed on some tribbles. They're looting franchises. Oh, Jar Jar Abrams has infected things to the extent that now Star Trek and Star Wars are virtually one and bleeding the past into the future. A bin of tribbles broke Palpatine's fall. Well, that's good to know. That's as good an explanation as any that I've heard of why this mess is the way it is. Ugh, God almighty. Jar Jar Abrams is truly the cinematic Antichrist. All of you guys laugh when I say it. I'm absolutely sincere. I believe it. I think that is what it is. I really do. Short Trek equals total suck crapola, says Ansel Ford. 100%. Luffy is God, says talk about a career burning out fast. She goes from Alita to STD Short Trek. I would fire my agents. Yeah, me too. Me too. Levitan 71 says, what does Hank Hill think about tribbles? And he laughs. Well, I think that the tribbles are that Star Trek disgracery thing about the tribbles. It's the sci-fi equivalent of coal, a bastard fuel. And Star Trek, I guess, would be the equivalent of propane. And Star Trek, The Next Generation, would be propane accessories. Truer words were never spoken. Hank Hill, pop culture critic. Thank you, Sam Whiskey. Clan Razor with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Clan Razor, who says, hail Doomcock, hail Garvey Cthulhu.
Hey, can that Garvey Cthulhu shit.
Well, you call me Chet. I'm going to start calling you Garvey. Garvey, I'm not Garvey. I'm not Chet. Well, what does that got to do with it? Well, it's a really equivalent. I don't think it's equivalent. It's equivalent, you asshole. You call me Chet. You don't have me give me the afford me the respect and the goddamn tribute of my own name. Sorry, Chet. That's okay, Garvey. Thank you, Clan Razor, for hail Garvey Cthulhu. Hail Chet Cock. Fuck you. Fuck you. Back to you, Chet. Back to you, Garvey. Thank you, Clan Razor. Admiral OF Doom with a $5 super chat. Hail, Admiral. He says, I said it last week. These people prove Doom's rule number 147. Paying well to be stupid. These people should be quadrillionaires. Just an observation. A good observation. It's paying well to be stupid. These people are looking to retire on their goddamn stupidity. Yes, they are. And we have to disabuse them of this delusion. We have to break that, and we have to let them realize that when you spit in our face, you do not prosper. We need to make Freddie Prinze well aware that when we see now a Freddie Prinze property, we won't watch it. I don't care what it is. I'm not going to watch Freddie Prinze Jr. anymore because he's a dick. He insulted us. He spit in my face. And I do not reward that kind of activity. Hashtag without respect, we reject. God damn it. Thank you, Admiral OF Doom. Space Cat 601 with a $2 super chat. Hail Space Cat 601. Says, hail Doomcock. Hail Gary. Hail Harvey. You mean hail Garvey. He said not. He said hail Garvey. Move on, asshole. All right. All right. Well, thank you, Space Cat 601. Appreciate that. Static 13 with a $10 super chat. Hail Static E1. He says, speaking of Disney, they hold the media by the short and curlies. Anyone think the Joker slam has something to do with them? Not me. Yeah. I think that the media may be sucking up. I think that they are definitely cognizant of their, woke rating. I'm sure that there's a woke rating that goes around. I feel it in my bones, and they just, they need their woke points. They need their virtue signaling, because a lot of cases they feel probably that their access to SJW companies like Disney and their very jobs, their very livelihoods probably depend on them towing the party line, saying the right commie, PC bullshit, SJW, NPC things that make people like Kathleen Kennedy's hearts go pity pat. Makes us sick. It sustains them. Who are they going to serve? Well, we need to remind them they need to fucking serve us, and we need to boycott anything that does not respect us. Without respect, we reject. It comes down to that. Thank you, Static 13. I agree with you 100% on that. Brett Dean with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Brett. Says, can't believe they're making Burnham the focal point of all history in the next season. Triple down on stupid. Well, Brett Dean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Mikey Spock is the bestest ever. So, of course, being the bestest ever means all roads lead to Mikey Spock. Like all roads used to lead to Rome. Now all roads lead to Mikey Spock. So, yeah, my advice, get off the road. My advice, take a plane or a boat. Get off the roads, though. If all roads lead to Mikey Spock, yeah, fuck the roads. Oh, yeah, it's going to be bad. And get this, kids. Not only have they destroyed Star Trek canon with STD seasons 1 and 2, but now in season 3, they're going to go to the future, and it will be revealed that Starfleet does not exist anymore. The Federation is done. So, we're going to stop breaking canon. We're going to go to the future. Oh, and we're going to extinguish the Federation and Starfleet. Ta-da! So inspirational, isn't it? Jesus fucking. Yeah. Burnham is actually Jesus Christ, says Neon Visual. Well, Jesus Christ super plank. Jesus Christ super plank. That would be the only way it would be possible. Thank you, Brett Dean. Tito's World with a $2 super chat. Oh, you already read that one. Well, thank you, Tito's World. Yes, Q&A had 9 executive producers. Jesus God. Ministers and angels of mercy defend us. Bionic Belly Button with a $2 super chat. Hail Bionic Belly Button, who says congrats on 57,000K. Well, sweetheart, I owe it all to you and to everyone else in the chat that stepped up and pushed me over the top and gave me those extra 5 subs I needed to go ahead and cross that particular Rubicon. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and I'll say this to you. Here's looking at you kids. Cheers. Thank you, Bionic Belly Button. Captain Spire with a $5 super chat. Hail, Captain Spire, who says, Gary, this is all they say. All Trek and Star Trek. It's forward thinking, and they just mock. Going back and forth with someone on Twitter on this. Yeah. They are pathetic. They are cognitively challenged. They are of the opinion, being conformists, being, corporate drones with no poetry in their souls. That basically they accept authority. They accept corporate governance and rule. And if the corporations say, I get this, it's like they own Star Trek. If they say it's Star Trek, it's Star Trek. As if it was that simple. As if it were that simple. As they cannot address my argument, wherein if a corporation owns both Green Acres and Gilligan's Island and Star Trek, those corporations, if they have the ultimate rights, can go ahead and do Gilligan's Island meets Star Trek. Right? They certainly can. My Mother the Car is set in the Star Trek universe. If they want it to be Green Acres, the Enterprise visits Bug Tussle. They were based there all along. Yeah, there's something wrong with that cognitively. Therefore, all Trek and Star Trek, not really. No, not really at all. That's the soulless corporate barcode on your fucking forehead thing to say. But yeah, I have a soul and I have a appreciation for art and a knowledge of history. And I say, fuck that. Thank you, Captain Spire, for fighting against these idiots on Twitter, standing up to them. Somebody's got to do it. Thank you, sir, for being that somebody. Wise Old Owl with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Wise One, who says, marketeers say huge market in breaking canon. Yeah, well, how's that working out for them? How's that working out? Look at Solo. Look at what it did. Star Trek Discovery's subscriber base is so poor, CBS won't release the figures to this day. How successful can that be, right? Oh, God. They are paying for this. They are paying for their arrogance. We are having an impact. We are winning, folks. Don't doubt it. We are winning. Thank you, Wise Old Owl. Joe Packer with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Joe. He says STD is just like the Carol Burnett Star Trek parody where everyone is gender swapped. It's hilarious. Look for it on YouTube. I've seen it. You are quite right, Joe Packer. Yes, Carol Burnett did a Star Trek parody and all of the characters were gender swapped and it was quite funny. Yes. Carol Burnett herself was Captain Kirk. And it was fucked up. Don't get me wrong. But much, much, much better than Star Trek Discovery. No doubt about it. Luffy as God says, rumor says Picard will die in season 1, but I think Discovery will show up and take him to the future to help Starfleet again start anew. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful if they had a STD Picard crossover? That'd be just delightful. You know why? Because people would hate it so viciously, and it would be the final nail in their goddamn coffin. Just desserts. Karma is a biatch. Thank you, Joe Packer. Jaybird Third with a $2 super chat. Hail, Jaybird Third. Thank you, my friend. He says, Overlord DVD, congrats for reaching 57,000 subs. Thank you so much, Legionnaire. Jaybird Third. You guys were here. You saw it live on the Inquisition, and it all because of you. John Michael Fink, Shatner, singing Rocket Man. Don't tempt me, damn it. She packed my bags last night, pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm going to be high as a kite by then. All right. I got that out of my system. Thank you, friend. Fixie Clary with a $5 super chat. Hail Fixie! Says, last night a guy posted a link to pirated copies of the short treks. I replied, no thanks. I have standards. Yes, my source was pointing out that it took it like days to even get torrented at all, because who cares? Honestly, who cares, Fixie Clary? For God's sakes. They were giving away pirated season copies of STD Season 1 in China, I was told, reliably by someone who related it to me. They were giving it away with a purchase of actual real Star Trek. So, yeah. Even in China, Star Trek Discovery is not worth selling on the black market. You know, it'd have to be a way, way, way blacker market to ever push that kind of crap out there. No question. Psycho Dwarf 9 with a $5 super chat. Hail, Psycho Dwarf 9, who says, gentlemen, may I suggest as punishment a colonoscopy with a rusty catus? So ratified, Psycho Dwarf 9. So ratified. Colonoscopy with a rusty catus. I love it. I love it. I will append that to the punishment for the shart treks, because, you know, sharting as they were, I think a colonoscopy is more than justified. Thank you, Psycho Dwarf 9. Captain Jethro Bodine is a captain these days. Speak of bug tussle. Hail Captain Jethro with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Captain. Says, I'm not a gamer, but I used to love Star Trek and can't stand bullies. So I contributed some cheddar for Anas's battle against CBS. At the least, I hope that it serves as a kick to the balls to CBS and others. Hail, everyone. Thank you very much, Captain Jethro, for donating to the cause. And I thank everyone else who has donated to the cause and sent Anas. Even if you do not donate to the cause financially, please, if you're on Twitter, shoot him up. Just hit him up with a kind word, a little bit of support. Follow him on Twitter. I think that moral support is every bit as important as financial support. And I know this guy is, wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a tender-hearted, good-natured soul, and would appreciate hearing kindness from anybody out there. So please consider doing that if you get a chance. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Jethro, for that very generous super chat, brother. Captain Jethro. Disturbed Fan 0717 Productions with a $2 super chat. Hail to the Disturbed one, who says, I learned that Han sold Luke's medal for booze. Yeah, apparently in a book he did. And I think that they're trying to have it two different ways. I think that I don't know that they would dare show that in the movie. But their mission, their committed mission, Lucasfilm Story Group under Kathleen Kennedy, their committed mission is to tear down men any way possible, especially white men. So if they know that showing that scene in the actual movie on the big screen would cause a riot, they still think that it's such a great way to drag both Han and Luke down further off their pedestals. They went ahead and put it in a book where it would have a little bit lesser damage, but still hit a different demographic, so that people, real deep fans that even read the books, will read that and be crushed. Because there's nothing that they want more than to crush George Lucas's legacy. Because what color and sex is George Lucas? Fill in the blanks for yourself. Christopher Archela, como bella Arcella, with a $5 super chat. Hail, Christopher. He says, I noticed people like Kurtzman and Abrams have similar appearances and looks with the thick framed glasses and the thin framed body. Beware that look. Yes, if you see that look coming at you with a film contract, run the other way, studios. Warner Brothers, God almighty, you just hit the hidden treasure of the Incas. You just stumbled upon an old formula. Whereas if you keep the costs of a movie down and you take an artistic risk on giving it to someone with passion and vision, it can pay off huge. Hollywood had forgotten that. Now they remembered it just in time for Jar Jar Abrams to throw out that playbook again and come back and give more of the same shit, recycling and destroying what pop culture remains extant at Warner Brothers. Jesus God. Thank you, Christopher Archela. Como bella Arcella. Thank you, my friend. Donald Gracie, Legionnaire. Donald Gracie with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Donald Gracie. And he says, may I suggest a new form of sentence? Send pairs of offenders to the Thunderdome. 2 soys enter, 1 soy leaves. 2 soys enter, 1 soy leaves. Oh, boy. The soy-soaked sands of Thunderdome. I love it. I love it. Who needs feeding Christians to the lions when you can feed soy boys to each other? Hail, Donald Gracie. Thank you, my friend. Outstanding new sentence. I love it. 2 soys enter, 1 soy leaves. 2 soys enter, 1 soy leaves. Way to winnow the population. Trent Barry with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Trent. Says, thoughts on Warhammer going to Marvel. My thoughts on Warhammer going to Marvel. Get ready for Marvel to ruin Warhammer, at least in comics. Marvel is a woke wasteland, a fucking toxic woke wasteland of suck. And if you think that Warhammer got ruined by making it for kids, with Warhammer Junior, whatever they called it, Tiny Toon Hammer of Womb, look, Marvel is going to make it 10 times worse. Marvel is going to soften it up, soying it up. Suddenly you're going to have nothing but women in there, women in charge, sending the men to their doom and laughing about it over crumpets and tea. It's just, and soy and kale salad. It's going to be a woke wonderland just in time for Christmas. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take to come out, but when it does, trust me, avoid it. Please avoid it. You will only suffer. Reading Marvel comics leads to suffering to fear to the dark side. Yep, Yoda said it best. Jeffrey Turner, aka Mega Jetty, won with a $2 super chat. Hail, Jeffrey Turner, who says, happy B-Day, Doomcock. Hope you had a great day. Thank you, Jeffrey Turner. I think you're meaning my anniversary of my channel. 2 years. It was on the October 10th and celebrated it on the 11th. And I really appreciate you, Jeffrey Turney. Thank you, Jeffrey Turner, aka Mega Jetty 1. Thank you for remembering and thank you for the kind words. I very much appreciate them. Crazy Pineapple with a $5 super chat. Hail, Crazy Pineapple, who says, hail, gentlemen. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s rant was pathetic. His own sci-fi movie, Wing Commander, was a pile of garbage nearing STD and Last Jedi levels of bad. Yes, it was. I cannot deny it. You have spoken the truth here. Crazy Pineapple, 110%. Yeah, a pile of garbage. Let me tell you something. There was a wrecked in space, okay? There was a wrecked fighter on the deck of the Tiger's Claw, which was the Wing Commander ship. And they had to get it off. So they had a tractor push the ship off the edge of the crash fighter off the deck of the carrier in space. And you know what happened when it got off the edge? It fell down. It dropped off the edge. of the carrier in space. They cleared the deck by pushing the wreck ship off the deck, and when it got off the deck, it didn't float away, it fell off the deck. So yeah, you are quite correct, Crazy Pineapple. You are not so crazy after all. Crazy like a fox, Pineapple, god damn it. Thank you, Crazy Pineapple, for dredging up that horrible memory. Rasputin with a $5 super chat. Rasputin did not say anything, just gave me a tip of $5 and moved on down the line. Thank you, Rasputin. Very, very much appreciate that. Very kind of you. Jeffrey Turner again, aka Mega Jetty One, with a $2 super chat. Hail Mega Jetty One, who says, I posted a Star Wars theory video. Please go see it. I would be glad to go and watch it, Jeffrey Turner. Will you shoot me the link on like my Twitter at Doomcock, or email it to me at dictorvandoomcock@gmail.com. I would be happy to take a look at it. That is dictorvandoomcock@gmail.com, or at Doomcock on Twitter. And I will be happy to take a look at it for you, Jeffrey Turner. Thank you very much, my friend. Lou Bella with a $5 super chat. Hail to Lou Bella, and thank you. Says, just saw Joker again. There were 2 separate trailers for Knives Out before it. Are you kidding? Holy crap. 2 separate trailers for Knives Out that you had to sit through before Joker. What are they trying to do? You know what they're trying to do? They are trying to incite the violence that they predicted from the start. And what better way to do it than make people crazed and desperate and insane by showing them not 1, but 2 trailers for Ruin Johnson's Knives Out movie. Holy crap. What cruel and unusual punishment designed to turn the audience into homicidal maniacs who will make that self-fulfilling prophecy come true. God damn it. 2 separate trailers for Knives Out. My God, it's full of suck. Jesus Christ. Lou Bella, you have my sympathy. Thank you for limping over here and joining the Inquisition to hopefully save your soul, push that poison out, have it replaced by, good, solid fandom thinking, good, solid fan theories, good, solid fan support. God bless you, Lou Bella. You are a survivor. Thank you, my friend. Tokyo Gaijin with a 5 yen super chat. Hail Tokyo Gaijin, who says, looks like Short Trek 2.2 is so toxic, pirates won't even touch it. Can't even see them on the high seas. That is what I am told. Nobody bothers. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody. Overlord DVD says Levitan71, in the cultural desert that is entertainment, you are our Immortan Joe. Very kind of you, Levitan71. I appreciate that compliment very, very much. Hard Maxer says the woke media is angry at being proven wrong. Yes, they are. They cannot stand it. They cannot stand it. Tokyo Gaijin, I don't endorse, sailing the high seas, but yeah. When I do, if I ever did, that's to say, I wouldn't expect to find shit that nobody wants to watch there. Generally, pirates have better taste than that and want to see good things. What a novel concept, isn't it? Kilroy was here. Kilroy is here. Kilroy will be here again with a $10 super chat. Hail! Kilroy was here. He says, hail Doomcock and Gary. Would Wednesday work? Also, both me and Armchair Warlord messaged you talking about coming onto one of your Friday Night Frolic streams. Also seeing Vic Mignogna next weekend. Yes, Kilroy was here. Coming onto my Friday Night Frolic streams wouldn't really be very good because you would only be on for 15 minutes and having, 5 or, you were saying all of you would want to be on. Well, it can only accommodate 6 guests at max. A. B, it would only be for 15 minutes because it's impossible to have guests longer than that on the Friday Night Frolics because the chat just runs away, then everything stacks up and it just becomes impossible. As it is, me alone without any guests is running 7-8 hours. How long would it run with a guest there? where I was slowing things down. So that's why we couldn't do that. But Wednesday, it would depend on what time Kilroy was here. Let's shoot me a message and we'll talk about it. I'll see if I can make that work. Maybe for like an hour and a half, maybe we could make that work. Kilroy was here. Thank you for that. And anyway, Friday Night Frolics, it's just too much to have a whole bunch of guests for any amount of time. Really just 15-minute slots here and there is all we do on that show. That's all we can afford to do. Let's see. What do we got here? Thank you, Kilroy was here. Wise Old Owl with a $3.99 super chat. Thank you, oh wise elder one. Says South Park is so tuned in and reverently irreverent. It really is. It has been from the start. And oh my God, did you see their Twitter apology to China? It was, shall we say, less than sincere. It was a wee bit less than sincere, Wise Old Owl, I gotta say. It was actually kind of compounding the insults and injury. But, that's the way they roll, and God bless them. Success has not changed those lads. They are still as bratty and nonconformist and contrarian as ever. And thank God they are. God bless South Park. God bless Parker and Stone. Fantastic creators. John Smallbreeze. Hello, John Smallbreeze with a $5 super chat. Thank you, John. He says, do you think they erased Rose Tico because of China? I do. I was going to say, well, they might be using China as an excuse for getting Rose out of there since, the fans really did not respond very well to Rose Tico at all. But on the other hand, since when have they ever cared about the fans? But they do care about revenue in China. China does not respond well to this woke crap at all. They sent The Last Jedi packing in a week or something like that in China. It did not go over well. So I think they're trying to, reclaim a little bit of the China market, and erasing Rose Tico would be one step towards that. So there you go. Thank you, John Smallbreeze. I think you're very perspicacious, sir. I think that they did indeed erase Rose Tico largely because of China. They don't really care if their customers are repelled by the aforementioned Rose Tico, and so I would very much be surprised if they got rid of Rose Tico simply because the fans found her objectionable. Thank you, John Smallbreeze. CJ Franks with a $2 super chat says Doomcock should make Nerdrotic say my name. Damn, he's not here. I tell you what, I'm going to jot this down, and on the Batwamen thing that we're going to do here in about 30 minutes, I will make Nerdrotics say your name. Okay? I'm putting it down on my note right here. I will get to that. CJ Franks. Orgnestra with a $2 super chat. Hail Orgnestra, who says South Park has had a pretty solid season so far. I got out of the habit of watching South Park. I've got to get my ass back into the habit of watching South Park. If they're getting this topical and relevant again, shit, must see TV. Thank you, Orgnestra. Yeah, I've got to go see that China thing. I've just got to. Thank you, my friend. Matt G with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Matt. Says, what's the SJW response to the GoFundMe? I'm sure it's logical. SJW protocol is to blame Jeremy first. LOL. He's not even here, and they're probably cursing him. Yeah, I've seen these SJWs on Twitter. I've not been on Twitter all day today, but I just kind of glancing around and just seeing feedback, people that I follow, obviously fighting with people who are mocking Anas Abdeen and saying mean things about Anas Abdeen and hating on him because, they really pull for the little guy, don't they? These SJWs, they really, really support the little guy, and they can't stand seeing CBS's rights abused. Poor CBS. Isn't it just the saddest thing that this indie creator is dragging them into court and making them spend money? corporate rights. We really, really need to be more sensitive to corporate rights and the rights of soulless shill motherfuckers that go around and light finger the property of independent creators. Allegedly. 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 Thank you, Matt G. Cardinal Sin says, "Hail, Overlord DVD. You are a merciful evil supervillain with the sweetest voice and most appropriate rage." Thank you, Cardinal Sin. God bless you, brother, for that. Appreciate that very, very much. Very kind of you to say. Lady Mist with an $8 super chat. Hail, Lady Mist, who says this is to go toward your mental health repair. After watching Batwoman, for all of us that can't go through that kind of torture. Yes. My Austin base in Austin, Texas, got Batwoman before Gary does. So I have watched Batwoman, and here, if you hear this, these are my notes on Batwoman and how bad it was. And I will be discussing that with Gary here in probably just another half hour. Yeah, we're going to get on this. So you can jump right from this live stream over to the Batwoman review. Thank you, Lady Mist. I appreciate that. I need a little mental health, tender loving care after watching this crap. Mad Vulcan, Tribbles versus Porgs. Which is better? Porgs. Porgs are better than this bastardized human DNA Tribble shit by far. Porgs, head and shoulders above. Super Blubber Puss, my legionnaire and friend with a $5 super chat. Hail, Super Blubber Puss. Says, since this was an origin movie, will this Joker meet Pattinson's Batman? No, I hope not. I very much hope not. I think that would absolutely ruin Joker. I don't know. I don't want to give any spoilers away for folks who still have not seen it. Okay. But I will say, in my opinion, having Joker fight Batman, having any kind of sequel to this movie would absolutely pervert the movie. I think it's essential, in fact, that this movie not have a sequel, in my opinion. Thank you, Super Blubber Puss, for that. No, I do not believe that he will meet Pattinson's Batman. How could he? When this Joker, who is easily 35, I think more like 40 in this movie, when he meets Bruce Wayne is like 7. So by the time Bruce Wayne grew up big enough to beat up on the Joker's what? Going to be on a stroller? Going to be in a wheelchair? Come on. It doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. This movie, in my opinion, should not be considered in the larger Batman canon. I explained my theory of the case on EFAP this afternoon. I don't want to repeat it here just in case there's some folks that have not seen the movie, out of consideration for you guys. But Super Blubberpuss, we will discuss this in detail Thursday at the Doomcock Roundtable. So I hope that you will be able to join us there, my Legionnaire friend. Mr. Ragno with a $5 super chat. Hail, Mr. Ragno. I found it interesting how the media in the Joker demonized and hyperbolized Arthur in the same way the Access media reacted to the movie itself. Well, you're very perceptive, Mr. Ragno. And I say that the reason for that is because Todd Phillips directed this movie in response to being unable to make comedies anymore because of woke culture, because of the SJW's habit of suppressing free speech, free thought, especially when that speech is funny, because these SJW motherfuckers have no goddamn sense of humor at all. So he was saying, well, if I cannot make a comedy like The Hangover anymore, then I'm going to, by God, make this. And I think that you can make a case that Joker is a kind of proxy for Todd Phillips, in a sense that he is a man who desperately just wants to do comedy and instead winds up having to do tragedy because, well, society is the way it is. You look at that movie, you look at that message, and the reason why Joker is so great is it becomes clear. Joker is so great because it is a personal movie coming right from Todd Phillips' heart, in the same way that movies like Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, and King of Comedy Goodfellas came from a Scorsese's heart. You know, I mean, these were all personal movies for Scorsese, writing and making what he knew, and that's that. The Tyos with a $4.99 super chat. Hail to the Tyos, who says, glad Disney is finally dying financially. So am I. So am I. Well, they have so much. Well, I don't know. They have a lot of debt, the Tyos. They do. I don't know that they're prospering anymore, honestly. And with this, hotel thing that they're investing in, and the theme parks going south, they may well start dying financially. I mean, I don't know they're at that point yet, but it's looking worse than it has in many, many years. So fingers crossed, who can say? Leo Zakari with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Leo. Says, Gary, when did we give up? Did we give up when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No, and we will not give up now. We will never surrender. Hail Leo Zakari. No, we will never surrender at all. All right. Look, guys, I tell you what, I will still have access to these super chats over in the next stream when we are reviewing Batwamen. So I tell you what I will do once Gary and I have concluded our review. I may go ahead and tackle some more of these super chats here. If I can't get through them, then like I said, I will have a super chat square up in the next day or so. But to be continued, folks. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, put it to bed. But we will continue over in the next one as soon as I can get it set up. Just give me a few minutes, and it will be posted. And then we will see you probably right around 11:30, about 20 minutes from now. So, folks, from the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock and Gary Beekler from Neurotic Channel, bidding you all, my friends, stay angry and join us next Sunday for the Inquisition. See you in a few minutes.